what I want to talk about right now, we're going to switch paces now into the product development mode. And this is something I have a lot of, I really enjoy this part of it. And what I'm actually going to do, I spent some time today, I'm actually going to show you guys examples of a whole bunch of different types of products to get the wheels in your head spinning about how easy this game can really be if you just look at it that way. The first thing I'm going to talk about is there's a key to this whole thing that makes it either work or not work. A lot of it is the ask campaign, all that kind of stuff. But one of the most important things when you're developing your product from step number one, you need to figure out what is your hook. Okay? Excuse me, every time I've done this wrong, my product fails. I come out, I'm like, and there's a couple of things we talked about this. I haven't talked about this yet, but there's things that people need and there's things that people want. Okay? I was in New Jersey for 2 years out knocking doors, and it was interesting. I was in an area called Camden. Ever been to Camden, New Jersey? Scary, scary spot, right? Very scary spot. When I was there, it was the murder capital of the world. There was in the newspaper, and it was funny, I mailed it back to my mom and freaked her out. The big thing headline said, Camden, New Jersey is now the murder capital of the world. More murders happen here per head than anywhere else in the world. Awesome. I was there knocking doors and having a great time. When I found, I'd go to these people's houses, and these people were really, really poor. It's low end, a lot of projects, stuff like that. And you walk into their house, and they don't have a phone. They all walk out to the phone, they put the cord in, they call people on the phone. None of them have cars. They walk everywhere. They ride bikes. But what was interesting to me is every single house, like without exception, every house I walked in, guess they had? The biggest TV on earth I've ever seen. Huge, like 80,000-inch TVs on the wall. Every single one. They sit there watching it for hours and hours. But nobody had a phone, nobody had a car, no one had a bike, no one had anything else, but they all had a TV. Okay? What people do is they buy what they want, not what they need. In the Depression time, when everyone was going horrible and all these things were happening, guess what industry didn't struggle at all? Alcohol, yeah, and the entertainment industry. It did not struggle because people pay for what they want. And what I found is with product creation, it's the same kind of thing. A lot of times we want to give customers what they need, which is good. That's a good desire that we have as entrepreneurs. We give them what they need, right? But the problem is that people don't want what they need normally. So for example, like 3 years ago, I put together this course, and it was like the greatest internet marketing course in the world. It showed you every single thing you needed to make money online. The step-by-step, it was like this is the most amazing thing in the world. We put it out there. We did a big, huge product launch, spent insane amounts of time, money, and effort to launch it, put it out there, and completely flopped. And I was just devastated. I was just like, this is what everybody needs. And I remember I was talking to one of my friends, Gary Ambrose. Some of you guys may know him. And I was just like, I don't get it. Why is nobody buying this? Like, it's exactly what every single person out there needs. And he said something that was really profound to me. He said, what's the hook? It's not sexy. There's nothing exciting about it. It's just yeah, it teaches internet marketing. But what's the hook? What makes it different or unique or exciting? And I couldn't answer. I was like, it's this cool course that teaches people everything. That was all I could come. I couldn't think of what the hook was. And since then, it's funny that was something that ran in my head. And 3 or 4 times we've launched product. I mean, we launch products a lot. Sometimes every time they fail, it always comes back to this. Almost every time is what's the hook? If you don't have a good hook, everything else it doesn't work. Now the other thing's kind of interesting, and we'll talk more about this in the next session. But again, people don't really buy what they need, but they buy what they want. So when you do that, and you're thinking about your products, you structure that way. For example, some of you guys, to get to this seminar, you bought one of my front-end products, right? My front-end products are really sexy, shiny things. Everyone wants a shiny object. So one of our front-end products are shiny topics. We got one on micro-continuity, one on 12-month millionaire. We got one on the dark side of .com secrets. All these like shiny objects, things that people really want. They get so excited because they want to learn about this thing or that thing. So we sell them that. But then guess what? They buy that. We call them on the phone, and guess what I sell them? I sell them what they need. This is what you guys need. This is what I wish every one of my students could come to this event. This is what people need because it walks you through a step-by-step process. But it's hard to sell something like this because it's not very sexy. Everyone teaches you everything about internet marketing. Okay, is that sexy for you guys? It's not traditionally sexy. So anyway, it comes back to wants and needs. We'll talk more about that. But it also comes back to finding out what your hook is. What is your hook for your product? Now, who here thinks that the diet industry has changed at all in the last 50 billion years? Okay. If you're really fat and you want to lose weight, what do? There's a really simple process.
Eat less and exercise.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is, right? Is there any is that revolutionary by any stretch of the imagination? No. Okay, how many billions and billions and billions of dollars are made every single year in the weight loss industry? Tons and tons and tons. And the reason why is because marketers that are smart, they figure out a way to find out a good hook. Okay, on page number 23, I show you 2 different hooks in the fitness industry. This one right here, this is one of the guys that actually won Body for Life one year. And I met him and he launched this product and it made me laugh so hard. It's called Cheat Your Way Thin. You see this picture of hot dogs and hamburgers and ice cream, and it says, discover how you can join thousands of others who have already used my proven cheating system to effortlessly strip away countless inches from their own hard-to-lose problem areas, all while eating ice cream, devouring juicy burgers, and indulging all the food that most of their dieters can only dream about. Who here wants to be on a diet like that? Okay, that sounds great, right? The next one here is the burrito diet. This guy lost all his weight by eating burritos all day. It's the burrito diet. Think about all the different hooks out there and how people sell how to lose weight. This is one of the best industries to see different hooks because there's so many things and they're all pretty much the same, right? It's all find out what's your hook, what's your unique angle you can bring to the market. People are like, oh, that's awesome, that looks great. Figuring out the hook is one of the biggest parts. Okay? If you can't figure out a hook for your product, it's probably not a good product. Try to figure out what can your hook be, what can make it different, exciting, sexy, unique. Okay, figuring out the hook. And we spend a lot of time just figuring out what's the hook. Is this the right hook? Is it going to get people excited or not? Okay, next thing we'll talk about now, I just want to go into product development. And like I said, I got a box of a whole bunch of products from my library upstairs just to show you guys different ways to create product. If you look on page number 24 and 25, we're going to go through a lot of these things. The first one is ghost-written ebooks. Okay, so we talked about before creating your outline, right? Now, anyone here ever tried to write a book? A couple of you guys. How was it? How long did it take to write a book? Months and months. It's a horrible, miserable process, right? Who would rather die than write a book? A couple of us. All right, good. It's a long process. Sit down and like get a script, start typing this whole thing. Like it takes forever. But so what we do, one of the easiest ways to do it, you get your outline and you don't write it. You go out and you hire people who are great writers. You outsource that as well. What I found, if I outsource people, like the first time I had someone write the How to Overcome Pornography book, oh, it was horrible. I paid this person like $500 to write a 300-page book. So it was a really good deal. Put it out there. It was a lady. She wrote the book. And she sent it back to me, and it was like, it was weird. Like there were chapters about like good pornography versus bad pornography, how to find this. And I was like, if someone's suffering from pornography addiction, do you want to give them a chapter about good pornography versus bad pornography? Now they can rationalize whenever they're doing whatever they want. Does that make any logical sense? There's a whole chapter devoted to that, and I was just like, crap! I wasted $300 or $500 to get the book done. Now what I found is if I create my chapter outline first, and I said, this is the chapter. Chapter title 1 is this. Chapter title 2 is this. I give them the outline and say, now go out and research these topics and write 10, 15 pages in each chapter. It makes the process so much faster, cheaper, and easier. So that's why I always create the outline first and get it ghost written. Now I'm going to go through and just show you guys, again, some books. This is one. We're working on an offer for this book right here. This is actually a PMI offer. Where are you at? eBay versus and Craigslist profits. This is a guy that he finds products on Craigslist and really, really cheap, because Craigslist is competitive. People post things in the local town. He finds them on Craigslist, and he buys he'll find like a Norditrack or something for like $100. Buys it here, puts it on eBay, sells it for $200. And that's what he does all day long, just arbitrage. Buys it on Craigslist, sells it on eBay, makes a ton of money. That's the whole book teaches that. Oh, the phone was ringing. I was hoping it wasn't my wife. Whew, we dodged a bullet, guys. Okay. So that's the process of this guy's book. So they went there, tested the market. They did market research. People wanted it. They were going to launch it. And guess what they did? They didn't sit down and say, okay, let's go write a book now. They hired a ghostwriter. They said, this is the topic. Go write a book. And the guy is doing it. He's like, this is what I'm doing. I don't know how to write a book. I'm not a writer. You write this book about the topic. And they paid some guy some money, and the guy wrote the book, and boom, now they got a book. Okay? So this is a ghost-written book. I'm handing you guys a book, passing like this way, this way, this way, this way, and then jumping down on the table, my brother's table back there in the back. So you can kind of see samples there. There's a ghost-written book. I would say probably 90% of the books that are, I don't know, maybe I'm lying, but I would say 50, 60% of the books on the bookshelves in the bookstores are written by ghostwriters. Okay? Lance Armstrong is not a great writer. He didn't write his book. He hired a ghostwriter to write the book for him. Okay? That's the way that the publishing industry, for the most part, works. Most people, they're good at something, they're good at it, they're not a writer, so they hire ghostwriters. So don't think you need to write a book. I'm just going to start pulling things out of this book and talk about it. Okay, next thing, this is a company, they do really, really well. It's called Net Success Interviews. Instead of writing a book, because that takes way too long, all they do is they find 10 or 20 or 30 people who are good at a topic. They call them on the phone, they interview that person, and then they take the interview and they transcribe it, and they slap it in a book and they sell it. So this is a whole book, it's just interviews of people. They got a whole book they can use as now a lead gen thing. Okay, so think about your market. Who could you interview about a topic, slap them together, transcribe them, now you got a book on whatever topic you want really, really quickly. Okay, this is one of my friends, Matt Basak. He wanted to write a book, and he didn't want to write 20 chapters either. So what he did is he just did like 5 or 6 teleseminars. He knew this is the topic, this is my outline. He did a teleseminar, each piece of the outline, took all his own call, transcribed it, and boom, launched a book. He took this book from the day he started to the day he launched it and got it on Amazon bestsellers list in less than 30 days. The whole entire process, writing the book, editing it, printing it, shipping it, launching it, getting a bestseller. And he did it not by sitting down and writing page number 1. He did it by just talking about it, transcribing it, and boom. And then if you look at this book, there's like so many spelling errors and so many grammar errors. It's not good, but he's made millions of dollars off this book. He uses lead gen to get people to all the other stuff he does. Okay, very simple way to do it. Okay, anyone ever heard of the book Chicken Soup for the Soul? Okay, anyone ever read any of these books before? Okay, this is the I think it's more books many of you guys know for sure, but I think this is the most successful published book in the history of the world, outside like the Bible and stuff like that. It's print and sold more copies than anything else. This is the book series. What's interesting is that Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen, I know both these guys, they didn't write a single word of this book. Okay, this is their process. Chicken Soup for the Soul, 101 stories to open the heart and rekindle the spirit. They found 101 people that had unique stories about something. They submitted it, they put it in a book, they bound it, they put their name on it, and they started selling the crap out of it. Okay, Chicken Soup for the Soul. So that's the first one that came out. Now, if you're curious if this series is, if this model is successful or not, let me talk about, since then, I talked to these guys, they pre-sell, I can't remember if they pre-sell 1 million or 10 million copies before they actually write the book. So they'll go out there and they'll launch it after they get either 1 million or 10 million copies, I can't remember. Then they're like, okay, we pre-sold them, now let's go write the books, find people with articles. And they have them on the weirdest crap. So Chicken Soup for the NASCAR Soul, 101 stories of family, fortune, and fast cars. Okay? Whole book on that, NASCARs. This one I love just because this is actually the sequel, which means this is the second version of this. Chicken Soup for the Horse Lover Soul, Volume 2. Okay, which means there's a part of Volume 1 as well. So they got a whole bunch of people that had horses that like to talk about them, and they asked them to give them an article, and then boom, they published a book, sold tens of millions of copies, and made a fortune. Then they got a bunch of people who were in prison, and they're like, hey guys, we need some chicken soup for you guys too, chicken soup for the prisoner soul. Okay, and it goes on and on, and there's like thousands of these books, right? I heard Dan Kennedy say that someday in the future there will be a chicken soup for every single person on the earth. All of us have our own chicken soup book eventually because of the series. Okay? Now think about that. Right now you're in a niche, and let's say you want to go and sell something to the how to lose weight niche, and like I don't know how to lose weight. I'm still overweight. I don't know how to do it. You can go to article directories, things like enzedarticles.com, and go to these article directories and find people who are experts on a topic, and just go in and say, hey, you've written an article on how to lose weight. Can I publish your article in my book? And guess how many of those people are going to say yes? Okay, this is the deal. This is what most people think. You see someone that's a published author, and you're like, oh, this person's a published author. He's really rich and famous and doesn't want to talk to me. The reality is that published authors, people like that, in their little circle of influence, they're rich and famous, and people like them. But in the real world, like nobody cares who they are. They go home at night. Their wife's bored with them. They don't want to talk to them. Like, quit talking about work all day. All you ever talk about is work. And for them to have someone come and be like, so you're interested in what I want to talk about? Yeah, you can have my article. You can interview me, whatever you want. People get so excited when someone else is passionate about what they want. Like I've had the ability to interview people. I interviewed a guy who made $100 million in 23 months just because I called him Mass Market and interviewed him. 6 hours of sound on the phone with him, interviewing him. Just because he was like, yeah, sure, I got nothing else to do. No one else wants to talk to me about this crap. If you're interested, I will listen to it. Okay? So interviews, again, that's an easy way to do it. So think of your niche, go to an article directories, compile a bunch of articles, boom, you got a Chicken Soup for the Soul book. Obviously name it something different, but that's an easy, fast way to create a product. Okay, you can launch a product in a weekend doing that. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. Okay, Matt Fury, great info marketer, makes a ton of money. I don't know the size of his business, but I'm guessing about $5 to $10 million a year, right? This is his flagship product, his flagship product, Combat Conditioning. Okay, this is him in front of it. Now, this product sells for $50. It's got 50 exercises inside of it. He does millions of dollars every year with this book still, year after year after year. Now, I want to show you guys inside of this. I want you guys to let me know if you think you could probably create this book in like less than 5 minutes or not. Okay, right here, he's doing a lunge, and there's a paragraph of him explaining how to do a lunge. Okay, then right here, he's doing a no momentum sit-up, which means a sit-up really slow, and there's 3 pictures of it, and then there's a paragraph explaining how to do a no momentum sit-up. Okay, then you got, hold on, this is really cool. This is called bowing. This is where you bend at your waist, and then you come back up afterwards. Okay, that's combat conditioning for you. 50 exercises like that. Okay, over $1 million a year, every year, consistently with this book. Okay. Now, if you look at the picture, does it look like he's got a great six-pack or anything? He doesn't. And he created combat abs now. Guess what this is? Here's 50 different ways to do push-ups or sit-ups. Here's where I bend my feet, my hands to my feet, and then over here I do a neck bridge. 50 of them. Boom, another $1 million business. Okay. Can you do exercise? I got my wrestlers that work for me now. We've got all these guys knocking out products like this. We got one that's like functional strength, one that's like how to do pull-ups, one that's like how to work out over on a playground. Here's how to, like just stupid products because people buy them. Okay, so easy ways to make information products. Okay, okay. This is one that's kind of a fun one. This is a guy, and this is an actual product. This guy created a product called Directory Profits, and what he teaches, he's got a system. He goes out there and he finds directories of things. And the reason why this is a funny story to me is because when I was a little kid, and you guys are all gonna make fun of me about this, I was like really interested in like spy stuff. And I remember it was like 12 or 15 bucks, and I bought this directory. It was like all these spy, like how to find spy kits and where to buy your your like telescopes and your like cameras and all that kind of stuff, right? I bought this directory. It was just a directory of where to buy all this kind of stuff. And I bought this directory. It turns out later it was this guy, Rob Taylor, who I bought that directory when I was a little kid. In his whole business, he finds directories of different topics, and he groups them together and sells the directory. So not any content, not any information, just a collection of directories of different things, and he sells the directory. Here's how to find this. Here's how to find this. And there's a whole product just finding directories. Okay, this one I love. And I kind of like it because I bought it, which means it works, and it's just funny. So this guy, TJ Rollletter, famous direct marketer, if you see this picture here, he collects junk mail. This is a stack of his junk mail he's collected. It's like this tall to him, right? So he took all this junk mail, and he scanned it, and he put it on a CD, and I bought it because I wanted to see what was on the junk mail because I'm into that kind of thing. Okay? Passionate, obsessive crowd like me. Love that kind of stuff. Just tons and tons of ads. And this is swipe file number 2, which means there was a part 1 as well. So just taking ads and scanning them and selling them. Okay? Simple, stupid, easy way to make a product. One of my friends had a whole bunch of ideas. He went through marketing seminars like this. Thought, I got idea after idea. So many good ideas. He had no time to actually do any of them. So it took him, he ended up coming out with 378 ideas. He would just take note cards and just keep track of all these ideas. Finally, he's like, crap, I got so many ideas, I'm never going to launch any of these. So he made a book, and he called it 378 Internet Marketing Predictions. And each one of these is an idea for a product. And he published it as an ebook. And I know the first day he launched, he did over $10,000 selling this book, which is just, here's a bunch of my ideas I don't have time to do anything with. Who's got any ideas? All right, that's a great, easy way to do something. Okay, the other thing that's kind of cool there, you heard these guys talk about PLR products. Some of you guys might not know what that is. There's private label rights products or resale rights products. There's a lot of people out there who are really good at creating content, creating products. And they create these things, but they have no idea how to sell them. So what they do is they say, hey, all I'm going to make money is I'm going to sell the resale rights to these products. And so you guys paid, how much did you pay for your resale rights product? $2 or $3, and they got resale rights. Now they can sell this book over and over and over again. Okay? There are literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of resale rights products out there on every topic you can imaginably conceive of. And they're written books that are just amazing. You can go get them. You can put your name on them and publish them. So this is one right here. Ewan Chia, some of you guys may know him. He created a product called the No Sell System. He sold resale rights to it for $47. And resale rights, you could take it and you could put your own name on it. Okay, so I paid $47. I bought the book. We got it. Took it right here. I slapped my name on the top of it. There's one chapter here I didn't like, so I deleted that chapter, put it into a book, and we launched it. And when we launched this, we had it as an upsell to one of our products. The first week, we sold $38,000 worth of this book. And guess how many words I wrote in here? None. Actually, 2. I wrote Russell Brunson. So that's it. Okay, but a resale rights products. And again, there's every niche you can think of out there. There's resale rights products just waiting that you can buy them for dollars, and you can republish them and sell them as your own product. Okay, so here's this is something I learned from Matt Fury, which is just brilliant. So I was when I was in high school, I read this article by Matt Fury, again the Combat Abs guy, about these old school wrestlers and how they did all this stuff in the, back in the old days. And he sold this course that was called the Farmer Burns School of Wrestling. It was this old wrestling course. And he found this one last copy of it and got the ability to publish it again and all sorts of stuff. And I remember he was selling like 50 or 60 bucks. He was selling tons of them. And I couldn't afford it at the time, but I was like, that's a really cool product. I wish I could get it. And anyway, then fast forward now probably 5 or 6 years, and I was learning this business, and I had a friend sit down with me and said, there's this really cool topic called the public domain. You ever hear of the public domain? Public domain are basically products or works that were created that the copyrights expired. You can take those products and you can republish them as your own. That's how Disney, how they can publish Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, all these things, because those stories were not written by Walt Disney. They're written by other people. They're in the public domain. Now he can take them and he can republish them. I remember he told me that. I'm like, that's a stupid idea. Who's going to take an old book and publish it? I was like, that's the most horrible idea in the world. Sat down that night, laid down on my bed, and like 4 or 5 hours later, I woke up and I was like, wait a minute. Remember that old wrestling book that Matt Fury was selling? I wonder if that... So I jumped online, went on the computer, and I went and I found the site, and I looked at the whole thing. We're from the very bottom. The very bottom, it said, images and something from this site were found in the public domain. I was like, holy crap. He found an old wrestling book and republished it. So I actually went that time, and I bought the book. This is right here. It was $60, and this is the course. But what's interesting, they went on eBay, so I paid $60 for the republished version. I went on eBay, and I found someone who was actually selling the original Farmer Burns wrestling course. I was able to buy it for like $30. This is the original from 1914, this wrestling course, which he just took this and republished it into this, because it's in the public domain. Okay? He makes insane amounts of money with this every single year. I'm going to pass this around. Be careful with this one because this was kind of ripping. It's old, but I'm going to pass it around so you guys can kind of see this is the public domain work that is turned into an actual product there, which is kind of cool. So I got excited about public domain because I'm like, man, if I bought a wrestling product about that, what other kind of products are out there? So I started going to eBay, and at eBay you can actually search for books by year. So I searched for books that were published before, and let me show you the stats. So basically, anything published pre-1923 in the USA, before 1923 in the USA is automatically in the public domain. It means the copyright's expired. You can take it, you can republish it, and boom, without having to ask or do anything. It's just that's the year the copyright laws changed. So anything pre-1923. So I go to eBay, I type in year 1923 and earlier. I start typing keywords. I start typing in fitness. I typed in physical culture. I typed in dream interpretation. I typed in anything cool I could think of that I might want to buy. And I found thousands and thousands of books on every single one of these topics. And every single one of these books, it was really cool because they were selling them. These old books that no one really wants. They're selling for like $1, $2, $3. So I'd buy the book, and I met this guy that owns a company. Oh, am I going to forget it right now? It's called Book Scanning. Bookscanning.com. And his name is Timo. Really cool guy. And what I do is I would order my book on eBay, and I'd have it shipped directly to his house. He'd get it. If you go to his site, he can do it for like $100, $200. He takes the book, and he's got some system. He scans the whole thing, and then he emails you the Word document, and he sends you the book. So then I get the book and the Word document. Now I've got the Word document and the book, and I can republish it as fast as I want, and boom, I've got a book I can launch like a week later. That's really, really cool. Now, so pre-1923, that's one magic dates, and there's more magic dates. From 1923 to 1963, there was a window here again when the copyright laws changed again. But anything between 1923 and 1963 that was not, the copyright was not renewed is automatically in the public domain. Now, what's interesting is only 7% of works were ever renewed. So it means 93% of the books written between these years are automatically in the public domain. And I guess most of these writers back here in the early 1900s, they were writing a lot better books than what people are writing nowadays. And you can get that content, you can just use it. So what I do, if I find a book between 1923 and 1963, I've got a lawyer who lives out in D.C. His name is Mike Hynek. You're at Hynek.com. And I just send him the book title, the description, the information. He walks across the street to the copyright offices. He looks it up, see if it was renewed. If not, he walks back, emails me with his written statement saying this is in the public domain. And now I can go and take that book and I can republish it. So kind of exciting. And again, I got obsessed with it. I ended up buying probably 100, 200 books in the public domain that were all sellable. I started selling a whole bunch of them. One of the cool ones I found was called Dream Interpretation. And it was 10,000 dreams interpreted, which is really cool. If you look at it, you open it up, it's like if you saw a goldfish in your dream last night, it means to dream of goldfish is a prognostic of many successful and pleasant adventures. For young women, this dream is inevitable, blah, 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 blah. Anything you dream about, it's got like the description here. So this is one of the products we republished in the public domain. Now, one of our students came up to me, and he was a smart guy. He said, this is a cool idea. I want to turn it into a software program. So he took this whole thing, took the public domain that we had, the ebook version of it, took the whole thing, and he put it into a little basic Excel database. He paid a programmer like $20 or $30, and you open this dream interpretation software, and you type in goldfish, and then it goes through and it pulls out of the database, this is what your dream meant. And you type in, I saw a sunset, and it pulls it. It's just a simple, stupid, easy program, $20, and now he has his own dream interpretation software, all off of a public domain book like this. Okay, so really cool things you can do and repackage them. This is the book I found. I couldn't find the actual book, but I found a public domain book, and then my father-in-law's got a really good voice. He does radio, so I gave him the book. I said, I'll pay you $1,000 to read this book in the microphone. He read the whole thing, and we turned The Life Work of Farmer Burns into an audio CD, book on CD type series. So another fun thing we do with some public domain stuff. So public domain stuff is really, really exciting. Anyone have any questions about public domain before I move on? Yeah?
Do you typically maintain the original author's public domain, the original author's name?
I personally do. I like keeping the same person's name. And I've read things back and forth if you can or can't. Well, Disney obviously doesn't. He doesn't tell who. So I personally like to do it. Now, one thing you can do is you can create derivative works. For example, anyone here read the book Think and Grow Rich? That's like one of the most famous public domain books because it's in public domain. That's why it's been reprinted like 10 cajillion times. Everyone's got their own version of Think and Grow Rich. But what you can do is you can take those kind of products and you can make a derivative work. So I know friends that do seminars called Think and Grow Rich Seminar, and they have, here's the book and the manual, but then they have all their teachings that kind of go along with it, and they create their own system around a book, which I think is probably the better way to do it. But yeah.
And once you republish it, is it yours until that? Or can anybody republish it?
Anyone can republish it. You can copyright your printing format, how your typeset, that kind of stuff. You can't republish after the work's in the public domain. It's in the public domain for anyone to use. But even with that, though, like I said, Think and Grow Rich, there are probably 500 people that are making tons of money with that same book. So, okay. So those are some product ideas. Let's see, I got some other ones too. Another good one is book on CD, and I'm going to talk about next session. We're going to talk about ascension models and stuff like that. But taking a book, putting it on audio CD, interviewing people, things like that are really easy ways. Some of my friends they wanted to hire a really expensive business consultant. And I don't know how much he charged. I'm guessing 30 to 50 grand a day for consulting, which is a stiff bill to pay, right? So they got their brains on, and said, hey, how about this? We're going to hire you, but is it okay if we film you while you're teaching us? So they said, okay. So we came in, did the consulting thing. They filmed the whole thing, and they packaged it up as a product and made a couple $1 million selling the products of this guy consulting their business on how to do business. Okay, smart way, huh? One of my friends, Alex Mendozian, he did a teleseminar, or does a bunch of teleseminar stuff. One of my friends a long time ago hired him, and he wanted an hour of his time to teach him how to do teleseminars. He was like, I don't know, $1,000 an hour. So he paid him $1,000, and he did a teleseminar with Alex to learn how to do teleseminar. And then he took that interview and started selling it and made a whole bunch of money with it. So really cool thing. Interview series is a great way, especially if you're just getting started. When I first got started in this business, I didn't know anything about internet marketing. So what I did is I positioned myself more as like the reporter, as opposed to being like, I'm the guru, I was the reporter. Just like Larry King. I went out there and I started finding people who were successful. And I interviewed expert number 1, I interviewed expert number 2, and I started interviewing all these different people. And it does a couple things. First off, I got a whole bunch of products I could start selling off all these different interviews. Second thing is you start branding yourself with people. You see Russell Brunson and this guy, Russell Brunson and this guy, Russell Brunson and this guy. Pretty soon, you start seeing me everywhere, and it's like, hey, Russell Brunson's at the same level as that guy. It's a smart strategic move. You're getting into a new industry, new businesses, to interview people that are the experts in the area. I know, Garrett, you did your book. You want to talk about your book? You interviewed how many people for your book?
I interviewed 30 people. Russell was one of them. Really, you'd be surprised at how easy it is. People are willing to be interviewed.
People are so excited that someone cares about them.
Yeah, so I interviewed 30 people for my book, and that was half of my book.
Yeah.
Made it really easy.
Speeds up the process, huh? Awesome. I told you guys earlier where I interviewed Vince James. He's the guy who made $100 million in 23 months. I interviewed him for 6 hours. Didn't charge me anything for it. He let me have the rights to it. He said, you can do whatever you want with it. He took it. He sold it. And we ended up selling it. And from that 6-hour interview alone, I don't know the exact number, but there's at least, if not more, there's at least $2 million we made off that one interview alone from the 3 or 4 times we've launched and done stuff with it. Okay? Like, if you find someone that knows something cool, like, ask them if you can interview them. And there's just so many, I don't know, a lot of people get nervous. I'm not an expert. I know I'm not good at something. Well, find someone who is an expert, bring that person in and interview them, and boom, you got a product that fast. The interesting thing about audio interviews is, like, you can bust them out so fast. I can interview 10 people in a day, and now I've got 10 different products that fast. As opposed to writing a book, oh, you got like 6 weeks of just like manual writing and typing. And the other thing that's cool is the perceived value of audio is way higher than a book. Okay, at a book, you're going to pay $20 at Barnes & Noble for a book, but an audio CD, you're going to pay $100 for the book on CD. Okay, in fact, if you look on page number 24, this is the first thing, I'm pretty sure I quote, like, this is my quote. I never heard someone else say it, so this is the only thing I've ever quoted as my own quote. So this is what it is. It says, people will pay more money for the exact same content packaged in a different way. And this is going to be key with the next session we're going to be talking about. If you look right here in the picture, this is the book Think and Grow Rich. Who here has ever read Think and Grow Rich? You've actually read the whole book, every word of it. I don't believe you guys. So I got the book. $10 I bought it, right? Because everyone keeps talking about read Think and Grow Rich. It's so good. You need to read it. So I got it, $10, put it on next to my bed, and sat there for months and months and months. I never read it. And I was just like, I know I need to read it. I know I need to read it. Never did it. So finally, one day I'm on eBay, and I type in Think and Grow Rich, and I see someone selling the CD of it for $97. So I bought the CDs for it. I got in my car. I put my CDs when I drive to work and back, right to school and back. I started listening to it. And within like a week and a half, I had read the entire book, Think and Grow Rich. Okay? Now, let me ask you, is there any difference between the content in the book, Think and Grow Rich, and the audio CD, Think and Grow Rich? No, it's a guy reading the book. There's not a word of difference. But yet I paid $10 for the book, and I paid $97, 10 times as much money for the audio version. Why? It's how people consume it. What's that? It's how you package, yeah. People will pay more money for the exact same content packaged in different ways. And remember, we're going to talk about upsells and downsells, all sorts of stuff like that. But remember that because what we started doing is, crap, I want to jump ahead. Should I or not? I'm going to jump ahead. Yeah, I will. So what we started doing was instead of like going and writing a book and then taking that and turning it into an audio CD and then doing a video and like kind of moving people up this like ascension lot. Ah, crap, I'm going to skip. I'm going to come back so it makes more sense. Anyway, I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to finish product development, then I'll jump into that real quick, okay? So interview series are really good. The next step up after that is going to be, here's another interview series. This is a really cool product. This guy got like 15 really, really smart people in the room. He put up a microphone in the middle, and he said, okay, I got a question for you. He asked a question, then everybody would answer it. Then he asked another question, everyone would answer it. And 6-7 CDs later, they got a killer product. Just listening to people give their opinions on stuff. Okay, excuse me. So if you can find 5 or 6 people really smart about a topic, bring them in a room and just record them talking about stuff. Ask them questions, let them answer it, and boom, it creates a great product that people are going to learn from. Okay, so that's audio products. Then we move up to, after audio, you got video products. The perceived value of video products is obviously higher than an audio product. Do you have a question? Oh. This is my first video product that I already showed you. Is how to make a potato gun. This was literally a handy cam video we set up and recorded it. So it wasn't high quality. Now, one of the big misconceptions most people have, and I promise some of you guys are going to have this problem and you're going to lose a whole bunch of money because you're not going to listen to me, is you have to think that your stuff has to be Hollywood quality production. One of my really close friends, he flew out here 4 or 5 years ago. I taught him about this process and he was all excited. He went back home. He had $5,000 to his name, like savings $5,000. And he went out there and he created this product. And the product was a good concept. It was body weight exercises, like getting a buddy and lifting him up and doing stuff like that, which is a big niche, a big industry actually. And he created it all. And he came back and he sent me the copy of the DVD. I'm like, dang, this is good quality. He's like, yeah, I spent a lot of money to build it. I'm like, I told you not to spend money. How much did you spend? He's like, oh, I hired a film crew and a production crew. It cost me $5,000 to film this DVD. I'm like, $5,000 to film one DVD. I'm like, you have no money now to go out and market it. Like, there's no value in doing that kind of, like, the money is, you need to save the money for marketing, not in the product development part of it. And that's something you need to understand. People are not paying for Hollywood production. Someone who wants to learn about potato guns could not care. They don't want to learn from Jack Bauer or Kiefer Sutherland and teach them how to build potato guns. They want to know the dude that's down in his basement cutting pipes and gluing them together. That's who they want to learn from. And you need to bring that around. Now, the key, what you need to know is the content is the most important part of your product. The content is not the delivery. So, example of this, there's this guy named Brooks Cubic, and he's got these really awesome products on. It's called Dinosaur Strength Training, and it's really cool, like fitness products. So when I was wrestling at BYU, I bought a bunch of his products. I was reading them; they were just so good. Anyway, when I came back, I started my business a couple years later, and I found his website like I don't know 4 or 5 years ago again. And I had a little bit of money at this time. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And Brooks, he had his book, but he also had like 4 or 5 DVDs, and these DVDs sold for like $50 a piece. So to get all of them was like $250. And I finally had money to actually buy it. I got so excited, so I bought the whole CD set. I got it shipped to my house. And when I got it, Garrett and BJ, who are not down here right now, you guys will meet some of them tomorrow, they were at my house when I got the DVDs. And I was like, this is this guy I've been telling you about. I'm so excited. So I put the first DVD in, and I'm just so excited to show these guys like this guy and his weightlifting techniques and stuff. And we put the video in, and it's really quiet. Everything's black. We're waiting and waiting, and all of a sudden you hear, Hun, I can't see you. And you hear this guy go, you got to take the lens cap off, Hun. And you see this guy go like this. You see him walk back and lay down and start doing bench presses. And they started just dying, laughing, and making fun of me. You paid $50 for this crap. And they're going on and on and on. I was like so embarrassed. And then they left. And they're not the target market after. They left, kept making fun of me. They told my wife. My wife was ripping on me. You spent how much money on these stupid DVDs? And then anyway, that night after everyone goes to sleep, I went back out and started watching him. I started watching him, and the content on the DVDs was phenomenal. Like what I learned on the things was just worth $50 or more by far. And for me, who was the target market, the consumer who wanted that product, it was worth every penny and more for me. Okay? So the moral of the story is not the production quality. It's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is people have a relationship with you. They want to buy from you because you know something they don't know. That's what you need to spend. The money you should be spending is on the marketing, not on the production, not on the quality. Okay, if you watch this video, the case looks good because someone paid $100 to design it, but the video is pretty ghetto. So, yeah, anyway, it's a good one. I'll pass that one around too. The next thing, I'm sure a lot of you guys heard there's software called Camtasia. And Camtasia is one of the greatest tools for product development in the world. You open the software up, you open your computer screen, hook a microphone, and whatever's happening on your screen, it makes a video of you talking your way through it. Okay? So one of my friends, and this is the first time I was really exposed to Camtasia, he wanted to create a product teaching bulldogs, how to train bulldogs. And he knew nothing about bulldogs, so he went and he bought 5 books on bulldog training. He hired a ghostwriter, he mailed them all these 5 books, said read all 5 of these books, and then I need 200 PowerPoint slides teaching how to train a bulldog. So I read all the books, created these PowerPoint slides, sent him the PowerPoint slides. My friend opened up on his computer, he opened up Camtasia, click record, and he taught for like 2 hours how to train bulldogs, just reading off the slides. This is what you do next, and you do next, and just taught this thing. He looked like an expert, taught the whole thing. It was all done. He had like a 2 or 3 DVD set teaching how to train bulldogs, sold it, made a whole ton of money with it. Okay, didn't write a word of it, just outsourced the whole thing. So audio or video stuff is really cool. This is a course called SciFlip Academy. Again, it's not by any stretch of the imagination high quality, but you look right here. Most of the course is just little CDs he made of screen capture videos teaching people how to do what he just did. And there's some text here to kind of talk about it. But that's the extent. That's a great product. I think this is like a $400 or $500 product right there. Okay? So Camtasia is a great way to do it. Handycam videos, seminar videos. One of our students came through and we were teaching this process, and they went back like the next weekend and did it. So I encourage some of you guys to do this. But they needed a product and he didn't know how to do a product. And I said, look, my first product, And none of the guys are here. Good. My very first seminar I ever did, I sold it. It was a $5,000 seminar. I had no idea if anyone was going to show up. And so I put it out there, and 2 people bought. And I was like, yes, 10 grand. And I'm like, crap, I got 2 people going to be in the audience. They're going to look like an idiot. I'm trying to teach the seminar, and I only got 2 people to show up. So I'm like, okay, I need some other people. So I invited a bunch of my friends and family members. I had like, the Brunson family clan and these 2 guys who paid in there. I'm like, don't tell them you're my brother. And we did the whole thing, right? And we set the video camera and recorded the whole thing. And that was one of my first actual products was that. And so what I challenge, if you don't have people who are going to pay you money for something yet, get a bunch of your friends or family members. Say, I'm going to teach this thing. Just show up, we're in the front room, sit down. I'll buy you dinner. Just nod your head a lot so the camera sees your head nodding. I'm going to talk for 2 or 3 hours, and boom, I have my product done. Okay, it's an easy way to do it. Now, it's difficult to do it without people in the room, I found. In fact, one time we had to create this product for this guy, and he needed we were doing 1 DVD in this whole DVD course, and it was going to printer the next day. And he's like, if you want to be on this course, you need it. And they're selling thousands of copies of this thing. And I wanted to be the internet marketing DVD in there. He's like, I need it tonight. So I'm like, crap. So we came down here in this basement, and we put up a fake tree here and a fake tree here. And I was talking, and there was nobody in the audience except for my brother with a video camera. And I did this whole presentation as if I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm talking to everybody and doing this whole thing as if I'm in a whole room full of people. He had to zoom in high so that you couldn't see anyone's, the lack of heads that were in the room. He did this whole thing as if I was, and that's a lot more difficult than having 10 of your friends in there just nodding at you, I promise you. So anyway, so seminar videos are an awesome thing. Now, next what I talk about is, this is a whole bunch of ways to create products, and a lot of fun and easy ways, but also there's ways to take your existing content, repackage it, and make a lot more money with it. One of the things is just recycling your content. Now, this is the funniest example of recycling content I've ever seen in the history of my life. That's why I wanted to bring it. Anyone here know Jason Moffat? You guys see him? So, yeah. And I apologize in advance if this book title offends anybody, or the picture on the front. But he anyone here is Twitter? He has Twitter. You know what tweeting is, obviously. He just tweeted all day long for 4 or 5 years, right? Or however long it's been up. He does his tweet pics and all sorts of stuff. He's been twittering. He's just had these big archives of twittering. And so he wanted to write a book. And so the title of the book, as you can see right here, and that's what the title of the book is. And the content of the book is just his tweets for 3 years. And the tweet pics, and that's the entire book. And the funniest thing that made me laugh is you read the introduction here. This is he's the king underachiever of the world and the best outsourcer in the world. He said, this book is a classic example of the ultimate toilet book with some hardcore laziness added together. I probably have about 17 minutes invested in this book. I spent 5 minutes to write this intro, 5 minutes to snap a photo of me on the crapper, and a couple minutes instructing my assistant to get the book done. Hey, Ryan, copy all my tweets and put them in a book and call it. Anyway, that was the whole thing. So this is recycling your content. Now, this is obviously an extreme, very, very extreme example of this, but I want to talk about how we recycle our content. For example, the seminar, the very first one I did, the How to Turn $20 into $1 Million Business. That was a free CD we sold on the front end for a whole bunch of stuff for years and years and years. We also turned that into resale rights product. People bought a different way and sold there. We took the audios and made audio CDs out of just the audio. We repackaged that thing probably 10 different times over the last 4 or 5 years, selling them over and over and over again. There's a reason why I have cameras set up right here, because I know that every time I talk, I can repackage that some way and sell it again and again and again and again. Okay? What's smart for you to do is every time you're talking about a topic, set up a microphone, because people will pay for just your conversations randomly about a topic if they feel like you're a guru and know what you're talking about. You want to keep recycling your content over and over and over again. Okay, recycling is a big thing. Re-niching your content. I think I'm out of books, yeah. Re-niching your content. So one of the other things we do a lot is we have .com secrets for dentists, .com secrets for chiropractors, .com secrets for all these different niches, and the content is exactly the same in all of them. All we do is we change the title, put a different sticker on the front of the book. Because is internet marketing for chiropractors any different than internet marketing for doctors? No, it's the same crap. There's nothing different between it. So all we do is have a book, and Brittany will probably show you the book tomorrow. It says internet marketing for, and then there's a little stick we put on it that says for real estate, for whatever it is. We change the landing page a little bit, but it's the exact same content every single thing. But what's interesting is if I'm going to a bookstore and I see let's say it's speed reading, I see speed reading for dentists. I'm a dentist. I'm like, crap, speed reading is talking to me. I'm going to buy that, and you're going to pay twice as much because it's speed reading for dentists. But guess what? It's the exact same product. When you're in an affinity group and someone's speaking to you, you're going to listen a lot more than if it's just random generic type thing. Okay, so re-niching your existing content is a really powerful thing. Other ways to create products, membership sites. Like I said, my very first membership site was the Lost Files. It was $27 a month, and we got people paid every single month. And it was the greatest thing in the world. Membership sites are great. Continuity programs. Some of you guys know we have a print newsletter. We every single month we publish a print newsletter. Membership sites, things like that. Another easy way to create products is use buy websites. Okay, I really wanted to be in the Forex industry really, really bad because Forex. I don't even know what Forex is, to be honest with you. But I know people are making a crap load of money selling Forex products. So I'm like, I want to be in that industry. I want to figure out, like, I want to sell stuff in this industry, but I don't know. Again, I don't know what Forex is. I don't know any of the information about it. I don't know. Like, I'm dumb about Forex. So went on a site. There's a site called flippa.com, flippa.com, and people buy and sell websites. I typed in Forex. There's like 10 dudes selling Forex websites. One of them was really nice. I put a bid on it, and what did we end up paying for it? Was it 10 grand? 10 grand. I bought a Forex website with the software done, the sales letter done, everything done for 10 grand, and boom, now I'm in the Forex niche. I got my own product that fast. Buying websites is easy. We bought websites for a lot cheaper than that too. People, again, a lot of times people get excited about the creation part. They create a product or website, and then they sit it there, and then they can't market, and they give up, and they walk away. A lot of times the content is amazing, and we'll come in and we'll buy those websites for really, really cheap. I had a friend who had a print newsletter he published for about 1.5 years, and really cool. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because we're republishing it now, but 1.5 years he published this print newsletter, and then it kind of, he sold a whole bunch of them. They kind of died off, and eventually just canceled the whole thing. So I came back to him. I said, and the content's all timely. Like it's not something that, or it's evergreen content. So I'm like, hey, I saw you shut that down. Why? He's like, oh, I just got tired of marketing it and I shut it down. I was like, oh, cool. Could I buy from him? He's like, oh, sure. Well, how much you buy for him? I'm like, $5 grand. He's like, all right, cool. So about an entire 1.5 years worth of print newsletters, the complete rights to them for $5 grand. The site, the sales letter alone would have cost me 15 grand to get written. I got the entire everything for $5,000. Okay, the Underachiever formula. Like I say, that brand, that niche, I want it. We bought it for. I can't tell you the price, but it was not that expensive, and now we own that brand. There's so many people that launch a website, they sell a whole bunch of them, then they're done with it, and you come back and buy those websites for really, really cheap, pennies on the dollar. So buying websites is a fast way. Licensing content. People who are geniuses, who are really, really good at something, come to them and license their content. Right now we're working with Howard, I'm licensing his content. I'm working with Scott, we're licensing his content as well, because these guys have content we really wanted, so we're licensing it from them. They get paid on it, we got paid on it, everybody wins. There's tons of licensing deals out there. One of my friends has a website called Fat Loss Factor, and they were averaging about $8,000 a day on this website selling the product. And I was like, dang, I want to make a site just like that. And at first I was like, oh, I got to write a sales letter, I got to create a video, I got to create a product. So I just called them up and I'm like, this is the deal. I want the same website as you. I got 2 options. Either I'm going to knock you off blatantly and steal the whole idea and do my own, or just license me the content. It'll save us a whole bunch of time. You'll get a big commission on everything and not do any work. He's like, all right, I'll license it to you. I'm like, oh, thank heavens. It's so much easier just to license it sometimes. And people will, licensing deals are, ours, we don't pay money up front. We say, this is the deal. We're going to do this. This is how you're going to get paid. And people are excited by it. It works really, really good. Yeah.
So do you set that up on like a percentage, like a royalty kind of thing?
Yep.
What's a good range? Bottom end, high end?
Depends how good of a negotiator you are. But I would say anywhere from, you could low end 5 to 7%, high end 20, 25%, somewhere in there. So.
You only pay them when it sells, right?
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the deal. It's a commission.
Yeah. Because the thing is, everyone's got an affiliate program, and this is the way I usually pitch it too. Because you have an affiliate program, and I can go and I can promote as an affiliate. I'm gonna get my 50%. But the problem is then I can't get other affiliates to promote, and I can do all the stuff I'm good at. So let me license it from you. I can get my affiliates to promote and all that kind of stuff. Now I can make a lot more money with it. You won't get as big as much, but your piece of the pie will be smaller, but the pie will be 10 times as big. And that's kind of the pitch usually. And so far it works really, really good. And every time I find people that I'm like, this is awesome, I want to be part of this, like we bring them in and yeah. I had the conversation, both of you guys, I met you, we talked out at Kennedy's event, and both of you guys, I'm just like, okay, I know exactly how I can market this, and I can market this. So let's do something. Let's partner up on this thing, and it makes sense. And the last one is just partnering with people with great content. There's a lot of people that have great content. Partner up them, create a business together, and easy way to do it. Okay. Any like product creation questions at all? You guys see how much fun and easy it can really be? It's not that big of a product. Hey, Steven, you tell them how, because you bust out a lot of products. You should explain just your process. Everyone's got their own little process too. I like to just give the microphone actually real quick too. Because how many products have you created in the last couple of years?
I've been producing it since 2005.
Let me grab the microphone real quick. Okay.
Probably well over 60 products, maybe.
60 products. And what's your process? Because you have
What do you want to know, software or video production?
video stuff.
I do a lot of video production, like private label type stuff. So what I do is I do a lot of internet marketing stuff because I know that much about it. But generally the process is pretty easily done. You can take and you can go on Easy Articles, for example, and take an article. And you can take that article, and it says like 5 tips for whatever. and you make 5 videos on whatever. Or you can do, take an ebook or a software and just get the idea. If you can get the idea, then you can create a product very easily. So,
Yeah. He said 60 products he's busted out. Can you imagine having 60 products in your product line? You're like Procter & Gamble at that point. That's awesome. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the big thing about it is people overcomplicate this stuff, and it's really that easy. It's like, okay, get my outline, get an idea or two, bust out a video, bust out an audio, interview someone that knows something about that. Okay, with Mike over here, again, I don't know anything about conspiracy theories, but I'm like, that's freaking cool. So, hey, we're doing interviews with you, right? Interviewing and finding out all these cool things, and now we got a product done, product created. So it's really, really just a fun way to do it. Okay, now, what time are we at? We're at 3. Okay, good. We're doing good on time. What I'm talking about right now, I'm going to talk about. There are a lot of different. Okay, I'm actually going to jump ahead. We're jumping ahead. Hope you guys are okay with that, because I want to, and it makes more sense right now. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead over to actually page 37. Okay, now this is what we used to teach a lot more at the beginning part of the seminar. I want to do more of the foundational stuff this time around, but what this is called your value ladder. Now, every business should have a value ladder. Now, if I was to come up right now and I met someone on the street, ideally what I would say is hey, my name is Russell Brunson. I got a really cool system for making money online. You should come to it. It's $12,000 to come to this 2.5-day event. Will you please come to it? What's that person going to say to me? Are you kidding me? $12,000 is a lot of money. I'm not going to pay that much. I'm like, but no, you understand, this event's awesome. People leave, they make a whole bunch of money. It's a great deal, great value for everyone. You should come. I'm like, no, you're crazy. Okay? The reason why is because, again, here are my axes. You can see the picture on the thing, but the price point is really, really high. The value is high, but the price point's high. And if I come off street, no one's going to listen to that. So the way to build your sales process, and these guys talked about theirs a little bit, is you bring people in more on the low end. Okay? So for me, on the low end of my business, we're coming in and we're selling somebody maybe a free CD or a $1 book or something really, really cheap and low end. You come in there, it's like, hey, for $1, I'll try it out. Hey, it's free as cover shipping and handling costs, I'm going to do that. Okay? And you get someone in on the low end and they're like, I want more information. Okay? Now, if I give that person that product and they receive value, what are they going to do? They receive value, they're going to want more. That's the way this whole process works. They get value, want more. So they're going to come up, they're going to send up a value ladder. If they get value at this point, they want some more, they're going to send up. They're going to send up, and the people can keep sending up. The more value they get, the more money they'll keep spending with you. Okay, now if you stop giving them value, they're going to stop giving you money. But as long as you keep giving value, people will keep giving you more and more money. Yes?
Now, what's you find to be the best price points for each part of the ladder?
Changes for niche by niche, industry by industry.
Okay. Yeah, the next one online or internet marketing, what would you say?
Okay, let me break it out. So free thing at the front. Then what I'm talking about right now is with the product development stuff, you're going from from text to video to audio. So in the low end, people are paying for a book, right? The perceived value of a book is not that high, $20, $30, and the value is about that high. The next rung up is then audio. So an audio product, more value, more money, that's the next rung up. From there you go, video, then you may do a live seminar, then you may do one-on-one coaching. You keep going up this ladder, right? And the top of the ladder, and most businesses are like a done for you. I'll just do the whole thing for you. Okay? So for me, I'm going to say, yeah, I want you to do this, but no one's going to come in and do this right away. So I come in on the bottom of my value ladder. I give them this. I give them value. They receive value. They want more information. Then they go to the next level, and they keep ascending up the value ladder. Okay? And that's how you get someone to come in who's interested, and get them to come and pay you $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for something. It's not by selling a $15,000 thing. So selling a $2 thing, giving value, getting them to now spend $100 and $200 and $500 and so on and so forth. So for us, this is a free thing for a book. We might do, $20 for a book. An audio might be $97 for an audio. Video might be $297. Your live seminar might be $997. One-on-one might be $5,000. And done for you might be $5,000. There's my value ladder. Now, you don't have to send up perfectly. Sometimes people are going to buy a book and they'll be so excited they want to come to a seminar, and you can jump someone. But again, if you're giving values, people are going to be looking, what's next? What's the next thing I can get to? I want more value. I want more information. I'm excited to buy this thing. Okay? Now, when you look in the product development process, and this is what I was talking about earlier, and I kept jumping back and forth. What most people do, which is a mistake, is they come down here and they say, okay, I'm going to write a book, because this is the bottom of the value ladder. So then they spend 18 months writing a book. Oh, okay, it's done. Now I'm going to take that and create an audio series. And they create an audio series. And then they go and I'm going to do a seminar. They do some videos. And they do a process like this. And by the time they got their whole product, the product chain, the product funnel done, it's like 18 years later and they're still broke. Okay? So what we do to speed up the whole process is I flip this whole thing on its head. And what I do is I start back here with like a I missed the workshop here. Like a workshop. I do the workshop, I record it, boom, I've got my back-end thing done. Now I take all the videos from the workshop, boom, I've got my video course. And I strip the audios out of the videos, put them on CDs, boom, now I've got an audio course. Take the audios, I have someone transcribe them, boom, now I've got my book. And I take one of the chapters out, and I make that the free thing, and now I got my free thing at the very beginning. See how much faster that is? I work once, and I just repackage, re-niche, re-pull everything out, and boom, I've got my whole entire product line created. Okay? That's the smart, faster way to do it. Okay, so that's why I want to kind of go to the value ladder really quick. Okay, now I'm going to jump back to, any questions about value ladder right now? The one thing I want to talk about is, okay, now this value ladder exists in any business, whether it be an information marketing business or another type of business. For example, about 2 years ago, we got a postcard in the mail from a dentist, I can't remember the name of the dentist, some dentist. And they big postcard and said, hey, if you come in right now, we'll do a teeth cleaning for free. And I'm like, awesome, I haven't cleaned my teeth in a long time. We're going to come in and get our teeth cleaned. So we came in the dentist, me and Colette, we came in, got our teeth cleaned, and got our free teeth cleaned, right? So what just happened? It's the beginning of the value ladder, right? I came in. He's cleaning my teeth in there. He's like, hey, Russell, I don't know if you noticed this, but your teeth are kind of turning a little bit yellow. I'm like, are you kidding me? They're turning yellow? He's like, yeah, they're like, have you ever had them whitened before? I'm like, no, I've never had them whitened. He's like, you might want to look at that because it's like, do you drink coffee or do you smoke? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't drink coffee or smoke. What are you talking about? He's like, well, they're pretty yellow. I'm like, oh, crap. Like, and I started feeling this pain. He's like, well, this is the deal. Don't worry. If you want, we got these teeth whitening kits, and for like $3,000, we'll give you a teeth whitening kit. We'll fit it to your mouth. It'll work. And within like a month now, your teeth will be white again. I'm like, oh, thank heavens, give me the teeth whitening kit. I need it really, really bad. He's like, okay, cool. So then he's going through, and he's doing it again. He's like, did you just have braces? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how can you tell? He's like, oh, well, your teeth are starting to shift back, and you can see they're kind of crowding and shifting again. I'm like, are you serious? They're shifting? Yeah. It's like, if you're not careful, eventually it'll probably go back to the way it used to be. Are you kidding me? They can go back to the way they used to. Like, they were bad. That's why I had braces to make them straight again. They can go back to the way they used to be. And he's like, yeah, they can really go back. I'm like, oh crap. He's like, no, don't worry. We can create a retainer for him. I'm like, oh, thank heavens. Okay, create the retainer as quick as you can because I don't want my teeth to look like they used to look. He's like, create a retainer for me, another $4,000. Okay. End of the day, I walk out and I'm so happy because my teeth are going to be white and my teeth are going to be straight. Okay. Now what just happened here? This dentist just took me through this value ladder. Okay. I came in on a free thing. He helped me with my teeth. He helped me straighten my teeth, helped me whiten my teeth, and then he put me on a continuity program. Every 6 months after that, I come back and he cleans my teeth again. Okay? But what's powerful, was I upset about that? No, I was so relieved that he was able to help me. I received value at every step along the way. So because I received the value, I kept giving him money, and now I come in on a free postcard. I walk out. He walks out $7,000 cash in his hand and a customer who's coming back every 6 months. And the other thing is my wife was also in the room with me, and guess what? She had the exact same conversation. So 14, 15 grand later, we've got some white, straight teeth, and yeah. Okay, so look at your business. Every business is different, okay? Chad's one of my close buddies, and I tease him about this all the time because he's in chiropractic. This is the problem with chiropractic, okay? Chiropractic is the middle of the ladder service. And guess what? It's not what people want. It's not what they want. They need it, but they do not want it, okay? It's not a sexy service. So he's got to go through this thing. He's got to get people to come in his door and come in and get chiropractic service, something they don't even want in the first place, but they really need it. That's a hard sell. I'm glad I'm not a chiropractor. That's a tough sell. Okay, so we've been working with him, like, how do you change this business? How do you structure this so you can actually make some more money with this? The first thing is you got to get someone in here. This is where we're selling the shiny object. This is something that's going to get something exciting, get someone through the front door. That's why our friend offers always these sexy, exciting things. How to make this, how to do this, because that gets someone through the front door. The shiny object gets someone excited. So here's practice what you're doing right now. What's your sexy thing? Free massage. You come in, you got a masseuse, you give him a massage. Who wants free massage? Only 3 of you want free massages? Okay, everyone wants free massage. So that's the sexy thing to get someone in the door. Now, he's training his masseuse. What happens? What she does? What does she do? She's massaging him and filling him out like, man, your spine's kind of jacked. If you want, I can have Dr. Woolner come in and he can check the spine when you're done. Okay, cool. Oh, your neck is, I wish I could fix this, but I can't. But your neck is like, there's this weird lumps in it. Like, I don't know, I'm not a chiropractor, but this is kind of strange. If you want, at the end, I can have Dr. Woolner come in and he can look at that real quick. And she goes through this whole massage process. At the end of it, they sit down, and then Chad comes in his nice suit coat, or his like lab coat with his prescription pad, and like, yeah. So the massage therapist, they're not masseuses, they're massage therapists, because it's a therapy thing. Talk about this and this, and let me adjust you, and boom, 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 adjust her. Suddenly provide value. Now, how hard is it to get someone on a treatment plan? Now they've received some value, they've seen the results, they're freaked out because they're scared to death because their spine's about to pop out of the back of their back, because his masseuse is telling them as an impartial third party, like, you're jacked. In a few minutes from now, your spine's going to be popping out of your back. It's an easy process now to sell that person. Now, this is the other thing. So they look at the value ladder. So now Chad's getting his $40 adjustment every single 5 times a week like they do. And this is my next conversation. Well, Chad, how many years did you go to school to learn chiropractic? How much money did it cost you?
Just under $200,000.
Okay, and while you were there for the 8 years, they pretty much just teach you how to crack people's necks?
Pretty much.
That's it? Okay, so this is a funny story. So my wrestling team, some of you guys have met some of them, or some of you guys haven't. We built a whole wrestling team. We got a bunch of guys out here. And they had a chiropractor working with them. Then she stopped showing up for a while. And the guys were all hurting. So Justin, who's third in the world, a big, huge dude, like just amazing wrestler, he's like, well, how hard could this be? So he goes on YouTube, watches a couple of videos on how to adjust. He's like, yeah, walks in the guys, cracks all the guys, adjusts them all perfectly, and they're good to go. 5 minutes of YouTube video, learn how to adjust people. I said, Chad, you can learn this crap on YouTube in 5 minutes. You spent 8 years and $200,000 learning this. They don't teach you anything else in school. He's like, well, they taught me about this and this. All sorts of stuff that people want and they need. All sorts of stuff that would fill it right here. Health plans, how to do, all sorts of crap that they teach in those schools, right? You spend a lot of money. They taught you something, right? And now you take this customer who's got your weekly adjustment. Again, Justin, now how much more value can you provide that person? How many more things can you do to help that person's life out better? Things that are more expensive they're going to pay more money for. Okay? So that's why you look at a typical business and you look at where's my business at right now? I've got an ebook. If you've only got an ebook, you're missing a lot of money out here. Or hey, I've got this thing right here. I'm a chiropractor. This is my service. But it's hard to get people in because my front end sucks. And then I'm not making more money because all this other stuff. Like, if you look at the value ladder, look at your business and where can you put things in. Okay? And what else is this kind of a shortcut if you're looking at a business and you don't want to build all this kind of stuff? Look at other people's businesses. Okay, well, we started doing this about 2 years ago. As you guys probably know, we have a call center, and we call our customers and sell them high-end coaching and things like that. I started looking, all the other internet marketers. All the other internet marketers, they had front ends, they had courses, they had stuff like that, and it stopped right here. That was the end of their value ladder. So we started calling these guys up and said, hey, you're not doing anything with your customers at this point. Can we just call them and sell them coaching? We'll give you a cut on them. He was like, heck yeah. That took our business like almost tripled our profits and revenue just by doing that. All these other people, we became their back end for what they were already doing. Okay, so let's say you go and we're talking with Nick with this. Nick's a realtor back here. So he's got all these realtors who are doing this middle-level service, right? They're all going out there and they're all doing the same dog and pony. So if he comes in and says, I'm going to specialize, I'm going to become the front-end guy, I'm going to generate a whole bunch of leads, and instead of me doing all this work, instead of me digging for gold, I'm going to sell these shovels and I'm going to give all these realtors the leads. They pay me a cut off the commission, and I don't work nearly as hard. Okay? Liz, who's not here right now, that's what she does in her whole business. She makes $30,000 to $50,000 a month. People fill out forms. She takes that lead, she sells it off to banks, and they pay her $50 to $100 for every lead that someone fills out a form. Okay, just because she's a broker. She does this part of it, and lets all the banks do all that part of it. Okay, so you don't have to build this whole thing. Look at your skills. Look at other people already do. Look at other businesses out there and like, hey, well, crap, you got this part, but I can do this, or vice versa. And it makes a really easy additional thing. Especially, let's say your company, let's say you have a really good book. Or let's say you've got a good coaching program, or you've got something else. Look at the other people around you who don't have those things, and you can become that part for their business. They add a whole bunch of value to their business, to their customers' lives, and you kind of take that over for them. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay. I usually give the chiropractic rant when Chad's not here, which is kind of funny. This is the first time I told the story while he was here in the room, which is really fun. Okay. Okay, we're going to jump back now to page number 26. I want to jump back to the Underachiever model because one of the problems we have with our typical coaching program is I get so excited by all the ways to make money, like all the back ends and upsells and cross sells and coaching programs. A lot of people get overwhelmed because there's so much stuff to do. So right now I want to finish out the Underachiever process and show you guys this is what your goal should be right now. And then after you get that up and running, then we start focusing on more of the back end stuff. So let me finish out the Underachiever process, and then we'll go to that. Okay. So the first thing, there are a lot of different business models out there. And I'm a fan of just studying people's business models. I buy every single product at least once, sometimes twice, just to watch people's business models, what the sales process is, what they're doing to me. You guys ever heard of P90X? I bought it 3 times so far because their sales process is so cool, and it changes depending on different paths and what you buy and what you don't buy. So I bought it 3 times, recorded the paths all 3 times. Actually, 2 different paths. And the 3rd time I bought it, it was the exact same path, so I kind of blew it that time. But I'm all into that because I love watching business models. So there's a lot of business models, but I want you guys starting with the most simple one because that's where you're going to have success quickly. And then from there, you can add, you can change things, you can make it bigger and better. We want to simplify things first off because the more simple it is, the more likely you guys are to succeed with it and make money with it. Okay. So the first thing, if in a traditional like Underachiever info product type business, you take a product like this, and you have your website. Someone comes to it, they pay $27, and they buy the product. So it's just simple. You give me $27, I give you a product. And that's just transactional based, okay? Very simple, very basic. That's the core thing that most people do. What we're doing right now, we're about to launch How to Make a Potato Gun on ClickBank right now, and we're doing a different business model. This is a really cool secret ninja business model that's fun that you guys should try out as well. And it's a lot easier than this. Because this still, you got to convince someone, You can pay me $27 to learn how to make a $10 potato gun. That's still kind of a, how do you convince someone of that? So I'm going to show you guys one of the business models we're doing right now, where basically on the website, what we're doing is for $1, you get access to the entire video. You have 7 full days to look at this video, watch it, make your first potato gun, have a whole bunch of fun with it. And at the end of 7 days, if you haven't made your first potato gun, contact my office and we'll cancel. We won't bill you anymore. If you're not happy with it, cancel. We won't bill you anymore. But if you're happy, after 7 days, what we're going to do, after you made your first potato gun, you've proven to yourself this actually works, that you like this whole process, then for just $19.97, I'll bill you once for $19.97. That's the sales process. Because this is a lot lower barrier of entry. Getting a dollar sum is not nearly as hard as $27, so we get a lot more people in the front end. You get a lot of people who cancel, things like that, but you get a lot of people who won't. One of my friends, his name's Frank Rambauskas, and he has a whole product line about like no more cold calling for sales reps and things like that. And he has a product like this, and it's basically a $97 book, and you go in there and you buy it, and it's free. I think you pay $1 or something like that. And after 30 days, if you haven't returned it, then he bills you $97 for it. And he's doing this is 2 years ago. Last time I asked him numbers, and he was doing over $1.4 million a year off that, giving away his free book. And 30 days later, if they haven't shipped it back, bill him $97. Okay, really easy, low-end, low-risk sales process. Easy to get people in the front end. And again, you'll probably get 70% of the people to stay. 30% are going to cancel or refund. But 70% of the people that are coming in, that's just such an easier sales process to get them in. Okay. Another big one that works really, really well. Okay, so that's for like a one-time payment. Now the other thing, and I know some of you guys have gone through our micro continuity course. In fact, on Saturday, Joy Anderson is going to be coming and talking to you guys. She's one of our micro continuity case studies. She's made a ton of money with her micro continuity site. I think last month or 2 months ago they did like $13,000 or $14,000 off it, and it's all like a continuity-based thing. But she's going to be coming on Saturday and showing you her whole process, step by step, how she did everything. So it'll be really cool. But one thing we do a lot is with continuity programs. So someone will come in and they're going to buy a membership site. Let's say you have a membership site and you have it full of a whole bunch of stuff, interviews with people, and this whole membership site based on a whole bunch of stuff. This is what we're doing for Overcome Pornography. It's a membership site. Okay, and people are paying, I think, $27 per month to be part of the membership site. And they log in, they get access to all the crap that's in there. Okay, and every month we add new stuff, and that's the concept with a membership site. So that's one easy business model. Okay, I'm sharing you guys different business models. Again, they're really easy, but just so you can start thinking about which ones get you guys most excited. Because on Saturday you're going to be mapping out first what business model you're going to be going after. So this is one of them. It's just a membership site. People come in, they pay $27 a month, they get access to stuff. Now to get people, see, that's one way to get people in. Another easy way to get people in is the same kind of thing we did before. You do a $1 trial, and after 7 days, then you start billing $27 a month, which is an easier way to get people into the membership site. Okay. The other one, and this is one that's kind of under a lot of scrutiny in the last year, is doing a free plus shipping offer where it's free, you ship them out a CD, and after 7 days or after 14 days or 30 days, you start billing them $27 a month to have access to everything. Recently, as some of you guys may or may not know, in January, the FTC changed a lot of the laws and rules. You can still do free plus shipping offers, but it's kind of a gray area. If you're using PayPal, you can do them really, really easily, and that's what I recommend doing. If you're using a merchant account, I probably wouldn't do free plus shipping offers. But if you're using PayPal, have at them.
Why do you use a merchant account instead of PayPal, just volume?
Yeah, merchant account gives you a lot of benefits, a lot of things you can do. Yeah. So what I would recommend, and the other thing, so this I would use PayPal for. $1 trials, and we're switching all of our stuff over to ClickBank. ClickBank is to do a $1 trial, and they handle all the merchanting and all that kind of stuff, which is nice. But we'll talk about that, more of that later. Okay, so that's the other business model. And the last business model I'll talk about, which is my favorite. If anyone knows, gone through our micro continuity course, if you guys want, we can send you access to a lot of the online videos. This is my favorite business model. It's called micro continuity. And what it is, it's similar to this membership site, but instead of having month after month, just keep putting new stuff in the membership site, we preload it where it's like every single month you get access for a certain time. So someone will come in and they'll pay $27 a month, and they'll get 13 lessons, or whatever it is, 30 lessons, however many lessons you want to create, and you pre-create these lessons. So this is what Joy's going to talk to you guys about on Saturday. Her site is called starterpreschool.com. She has a free CD. You come, you buy the free CD, and ships it out to you. And then is it 7 days, 30 days? How long is the trial on that one? 14 days. That's 14 days. She starts billing you. And what's the price per month? $37 per month. And how many weeks do you guys have?
We got 6 months.
6 months worth. So they create 6 months worth of lessons. And then after that, they stop getting billed. Now what's cool about this, and Joy will talk about on Saturday, when she launched this whole thing, she created the free offer up front, and she created the very first week's worth of training, and then she launched it. And if nobody would have bought it, guess what? She didn't create all this other crap. She didn't write a whole ebook. She didn't create a whole membership site. All she had was like a free thing and 1 week's worth of content. And after people bought it, and then they're like, oh, good, someone bought it. After the first person bought it, she has 7 full days before she has to create week number 2, and then 7 full days for week number 3. And how long did it take you guys to do it? How many months did you guys go through before you had it all preloaded? About 2.5 months. So they were just every night they'd create one, or every couple of nights. After 2.5 months, they built all 6 months of it. Now guess what? Now they're done. They never have to create content again. They step away from it, and they start just putting people in the front of this funnel here, and start coming through and start making money off it. Okay, and the micro-continuity is the same thing. You can do a $27 sale, you can do a $1 trial, or you do a free plus shipping. Okay, so there's basically 3 things. Let's see. Product sale. So we basically have 3 models here. We've got just sell the product for $27 or whatever it is. Back here, do a membership site where you either have the price, a $1 trial, or free plus shipping. Then you have micro-continuity, or same thing, different price points. Does that make sense? Those are the 3 traditional business models we use primarily online for info products.
So on your micro-continuity, what about all those people who've got ADD, they go on there, they find that, there's the site, they like the content, but they don't want to wait 3 months to get it. They just want it all now. They want to jump, but there's no opportunity to jump. Do you guys, is there a model to say
What they started doing is so this question is, for people who don't want to wait week after week for all the information, what you guys started doing is your upsell, right? Your upsell is hey, you can buy all the week's lessons right now but you didn't add the upsell until you had all 30 weeks done. So, get another water for me. So, does that kind of answer that question? Yeah.
How did you go about dripping the content? Because it seems like that's what's happening with every week. So, I'm looking like, so the 5th person who comes in, you already have the content uploaded, but you don't want them to skip to the 5th week. So
Exactly.
how do you go about dripping the content?
A couple ways. One way you do it, you set up an email autoresponder where it emails out the content each week. So as soon as they buy, they add that autoresponder. Second way, there's different membership sites you can set up, and it'll unlock levels. That's what we did with Overcome Pornography. We're using a script called WordPress Wishlist, and you can set up where it'll drip content. So if they sign up, as soon as they sign up, day number 1, let them see this part of the membership site. Day number 2, unlock this part. Day number 3, unlock this part, and things like that. Okay. And again, we don't need to get a lot of detail about all the different business models. I just want you guys to be kind of aware that you sell your product, you can do a membership site or micro-continuity site. Those are kind of the 3 core ones, and you can wrap pretty much any business into one of those type of things. Okay, any questions about those at all? Okay, awesome. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is there are basically 3 websites. This is one big thing we have all the time with students or people that get so confused. There's so many different things out there, and they're like, what's this and this and this? There's basically 3 types of websites you should be aware of, and page number 27 talks about it. There's your squeeze page, your landing page, there's your sales page, and there's your blog. And all of them have different functions of what they do. So we're going to go through those really quick. So if you go to page 28, you have your squeeze page. So here's the history of a squeeze page. Back in the day, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, you go to a website and you see something, and then something really annoying would happen. Who remembers what that was? A pop-up would pop up and say, hey, give me your name, email address, I'll give you a free report about something, right? People got so annoyed by it, they started building pop-up blockers and all sorts of stuff. But we don't know the backstories that marketers like us were using those pop-ups and building lists of hundreds of thousands and even millions of people. You come to the site, thing would pop up, they put their name, email address in, and boom, now they have that person's contact information. Okay, now the whole game of internet marketing is your list. This is if you say, what's the secret sauce, Russell? This is the secret is your email list. Like that's the core, most important thing in your entire business. Okay, the reason why Zan and Jen, the first time it took them 3 months to launch their business, second time it took them 15 seconds is because they already had an email list. Okay, if you talk about like the progression, a lot of people again they think you jump in this business, you make $1 million overnight. It's not that way. What happens is you start. It's like you're pushing a big rock on a mountain. You start pushing it. You start pushing it. It starts taking a while. It starts taking a while. You start building your list. You start building your list, and all of a sudden it starts getting easier and easier. And eventually you start building your list, and all of a sudden it gets easy. Every time you guys want, you send an email out to 50,000 people selling the product, right? You create a product, 2 seconds they can launch a product. Okay, same thing. I create a new product. Within 5 minutes of me finishing the creation of the product, I send an email to my list, and money will start coming in. It's literally like printing money on demand. You just write an email and you click send. Like it's the most beautiful, amazing thing in the entire world. So that's the end goal, is to build an email list. But all this process is how to build a list. But that's the end goal. And so the way we structure these websites, the way we structure all this stuff is to build an email list. How much? Last time you were here, you guys didn't have a pop-up on your site or anything, right? You added it since then, right?
Yeah, but it
For a little
was
while?
May when we upgraded our
You good?
WordPress. But
How many people got added to your list when you had your?
we got about 2,200.
Awesome. 200 people list. So now they can, anytime they want, send email out to 200 people. They can on demand, they can bring it back to their website. The email list. If there's anything else on a seminar, that's the secret sauce of this entire business, having your own email list. Okay? Right now I've got probably close to 500,000 people on the email list. Every time I have an idea, I create a product, I send an email, I click send, it goes out to 500,000 people, and I just need a fraction of people to buy, and I make money. Okay, so here's when I first learned about email marketing. And I read an article about this guy, and he basically said, you hear stories about like people that have a big email list, or that, they make $27,000 in 3 hours. How's that possible? And first I was like, yeah, that's a bunch of crap. People can't be making that. He said, in the article, he said, the reality is people are doing that. He said, what they don't tell you is the way they're doing it is by having a big email list, they create a product and they send it out to it. And he said, if you have a big list, it's literally like doing math. So let's say you have 100,000 people on your list. You send an email to 100,000 people, and let's say you get 30% of the people to open it. So you get 30,000 people to open it. Then from there you get 10% or 30% of the people to click on it. So you got 3,000 people to click on it. They go to the website, they land on the website. From there, you get 30% of the people to, what's that? Let's go to sponsor, 10%. You get 10% of people to buy. You get 300 people that actually bought. And let's say you're selling $50 products. What's 300 times 50 bucks?
6,000.
I heard like 8 prices. 1,500? 1,000, okay. It's a math game, right? I send 100,000 emails out, 30,000 open, 3,000 click, 300 buy, a $50 product, give me 15 grand. It's literally like that, in case you guys are curious. Like, we'll send an email most days. It depends on what it is, but like if we're not making at least 5 figures from an email we send out, I'm pretty upset, okay? But it's like printing money on demand. And so right now, obviously, you're building this business. You're like, I want to make $50,000 overnight. That's a long shot, but it's not that far along. How long did it take you guys to build a list of 50,000 people?
Yeah, maybe that.
Year and a half, okay? Year and a half, and now it's like this. They're pushing this rock, they're pushing this boulder, it's pushing this boulder, and now they got the craft industry figured out. They got 50,000 people who want craft stuff. If I was the other, I'd have a whole team of people cranking out craft products. Craft and crap is way too close. I use crap a lot. But I would have a whole team because they got a list of people who already want that stuff. Why don't you start pumping out a whole bunch of these things because they got a list of people that want that kind of stuff. Okay? So this is our goal, is to build a list, because when you have a list, this whole game becomes easy. Like people that are idiots make money when they have a list, because all you do is you type an email, click send. Okay, so here's my spamming story. So I read that article. I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world. I want my own list. I don't know how to make my own list, so I went out and I went to the site. It was called spamfreeemailaddresses.com, and I bought a CD with 5 million email addresses on it. And they were spam-free. I was so excited. So I bought these things up, went back home, spent like 3 or 4 days trying to figure out how to set up a mailer and all this sorts of stuff. Got the thing up and running. And this is back when my wife and I were first married. So we were on a dial-up modem. So we're going to bed at night. I said, Colette, just so you know, we're going to be rich by morning. So you can, if you want, you can quit tomorrow. I'm good with it. She's like, she's been hearing this for years. So she's like, kind of rolls her eyes. All right, cool. I'm like, no, we'll be rich by tomorrow. Just bank on it. So plugged in the dial-up modem, loaded up the mail queue, wrote this email. I didn't have a product yet, so I was like, this is a product. I made up this idea of a product. And I said, if you want it, PayPal $5 to my PayPal address. That's what I did, right? That was how sophisticated I was back then. Sent the email out, loaded it up, went to bed. Next morning I woke up, and Colette said, I need to use the phone. Again, it's dial-up, so I had to unplug the phone. She plugged in her phone again. So I paused the thing, plugged in the phone. And the second I plugged the phone in, the phone rang. And I picked it up, and it was my ISP yelling at me, cursing at me. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, we've had 300 spam complaints in the last 12 hours from you. And I'm like, how's that possible? She's like, I don't know, but blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you don't understand, ma'am. These are spam-free email addresses. I bought them from spamfreeemailaddresses.com. And she's like, son, I don't think you understand what spam is. That is the definition of spam. I'm like, oh, crap. So I was like shocked. I called my wife, don't quit. It turns out this doesn't work. So I canceled everything. I was really frustrated. I went back to school that day, and I was kind of like, it was like a downer day. Like, God, I thought I had this whole thing figured out. And we went, snuck out of class, went to the computer lab, and logged into PayPal, and had like $300 in $5 sales. I was like, oh, crap. This actually, like, I did it wrong, but the result was right. Like, people sent me money when I sent an email. And I got excited, and I said, okay, the process works. I just screwed up the front end. Like, if I can figure out to build my own list, like, this works. It actually works. So I went back and started, that's my mission is, how do I build a list? We started focusing on that whole thing. And from that's where we learned this whole process that we're going to be walking you guys through. But the list is the magic thing. A lot of people think the product is the thing. How to Tie Hair Bows is a cool product, but that's not their business. Their business is their list. Okay? If you look at a business, when I buy a business, it's so funny. Every time I go buy a product, people are like, this product's great. It's the greatest product in the world. I'm like, how many customers do you have? None. How many subscribers do you have? None. Okay, I'll give you $500 for it. But this thing's worth da-da-da. I'm like, I can knock off the content in like 2 minutes. That's not a hard problem at all. The only sellable asset in a business is the customer list. Have you ever bought or sold a business before? The only sellable asset is your customer list. Okay, the reason why eBay paid $4.5 billion for Skype was not because Skype was this fancy technology. They could knock it off in about 15 minutes. It's because they had 3.5 billion, or however many, 300 million customers. They paid the billions of dollars for the customers. Okay, the customer is the only tangible, valuable asset in a business. Okay, and so you know that. What should my goal be? My goal should be to freaking get as many customers as possible, right? Am I allowed to say freaking in here? I don't know if I can. That's like the worst I get. Don't worry, I promise you guys. I used to these events, I say crap and I get really nervous. And I went to Tony Robbins' event. Have you ever been to a Tony event? Like, he says the F word more often than any other word in the whole language. And I was like, oh, he's saying the F word. I'm good. I'm good to go with freak and crap. Okay. Okay, so step number one, website number one is squeeze page. That's the first goal. Okay. So there's my squeeze page. You look at pictures here. They're a very simple page. For those that see, it's not complicated. There's a headline. There's an opt-in box where it asks for someone's name and email address, and then something over here. And that's about the extent of it. You can knock these things out in like 2 minutes. It's not complicated at all. Okay, a squeeze page. And anytime there's traffic that I control, I send it to a squeeze page. Okay, so if I'm buying an ad, I'm going to send it to a squeeze page. So I can say, I'm paying $500, send all these people to this page. So if I can control the traffic I'm paying for, if I can control it, I'm always going to send them to a squeeze page. If I do a joint venture with someone and they're sending an email to their list and I control that, I want it to go here. Because the reason why I want to get as many people as possible, give me their name and email address. I didn't finish the squeeze page story yet, did I? I'm so bad at ADD. Or the pop-up story. Can we step back pop-up? So there's the thing pops up, right? Pop-up blockers started coming down, and people were freaking out because how am I going to build my list now? Like the pop-ups are gone, and this whole industry's dead. So some guys are really, really smart, created this thing called a squeeze page, which basically what squeeze page is you go to the site, and it's basically your pop-up. First thing, all you see is a pop-up. They give you the name, email address, and then they see the page you want to send to anyway. And first, when people create this, they're like, you guys are idiots. No one's going to ever see your sales message because there's the pop-ups in the way. And they start testing. What they found is that they said, let's say they send 100 visitors to the site. They get 30% of the people to give them their name and email address. And then they come up over here, and people are like, well, see, only 30 people ever actually saw your sales message from the 100 people. But what happened, now they have 30 people on an email list. They can follow up with that person over and over and over again. They can sell them other products. They could cross-sell. They could do all sorts of stuff when they have the name and email address. So squeeze pages, when you look at the lifetime value of your customers, like shot up by tenfold by having the squeeze page there. Okay, so there's your history of the squeeze page. So that's what it is. It's basically it's just a pop-up. If you look at the squeeze page, it looks just like a pop-up on page 28. And any kind of traffic that I control, I'm always going to send it to a squeeze page because why? I'm building my asset. I'm building my business. I'm building my list. That's the most important part of your business is your list. Okay, when you have your list, everything else becomes so easy. Okay, that's website type number one. Now the second type of website is your blog on page number 30. Here's my blog. Now your blog, hopefully you guys know what a blog is. A blog is, I mean, you guys see millions of them out there. Blogs are websites you add content to and they grow. You post things, that kind of stuff, right? Now a lot of people don't know what blogs are for. In my mind, the blog is a modified squeeze page. Okay. What I mean is on top of my blog, the top 1/3 of my site is basically I'm asking people's name and email address. If you look right here on my site, you notice the top third of my site is a picture of me pointing this way, a headline, and people give me their name and email address. Okay, the top third of my blog is just a big blog, it's just a big squeeze page, and everything in here is all the content that people are looking for. This is where I send traffic that I don't control. So for example, if I'm on TV, I can't control where I send someone. I say go to .comsecrets.com, they go there and all the stuff's there. That's when I'm getting a name and email address. If I'm doing search engine stuff, and we're talking a lot about search engine optimization tomorrow, I'm sending them to a blog because I can't control where someone's going to land. I can't say, if some types in make money online, make sure they land on this page. It doesn't really work that way. I'm creating a whole bunch of different pages, different keywords, a whole bunch of stuff you guys will learn about tomorrow. But this is traffic I can't control. But my goal again is still to get their name and email address. So I'm using this as a way to get their name and email address. And all the other stuff is just content to list pages out there and that kind of stuff. Again, this will make more sense when we dig deeper into SEO stuff. But just so you know, that's the goal. The goal of the blog is to be a big squeeze page. The goal of your squeeze page is to be a squeeze page. Yeah?
Find that they still opt in pretty well on the blog.
Yeah, it's not as high of conversion rates, but it's good. Yeah. Okay, and then the third type of sales page, excuse me, the third type of website is your sales page. Okay, so someone give me name, email address here. After they give me the name, email address, they always land on a sales page. Give me the name, email address, they land on a sales page. So that works. So that's the way I structure my business. Every one of my websites, every one of my businesses have 3 websites. A squeeze page, a blog, and a sales letter. If They go to the blog, they give the name, email address, they land on the sales page. They go to the squeeze page, name, email address, they land on the sales page. That makes sense? So if you go to their How to Tie Hair Bowl site, what do you land on first thing? Squeeze page. After you get the name, email address, what happens? Go to sales page. That's it. Anything more than that is way too complicated. It's a 3-page process. This whole entire business, millions and millions of dollars, is built off of 3 pages. You don't need all the other fancy crap that every website design company will try to sell you. That's all you really need, okay? Any questions about 3 websites? Yeah.
On the page it says traffic you own, traffic you control, traffic you don't control. Can you just tell me from point to what?
Yep. Okay. So again, traffic I don't control is all going to the blog. Traffic I do control, I'm going to squeeze page. Traffic I already own, if I own the traffic, they're already on my list. Okay? And if that's the case, it depends on where I want to send them. If I want to sell my own product, I'm going to send them straight here. If I'm going to send an affiliate product, you can send a lot of places when you own it. But again, the goal is to own it. So if I'm controlling traffic, my goal is to own it. If I'm here, I'm going to own it. As soon as I own that traffic, now I have it. Now, when I own that, like I said, I've got 500,000 people on my email list. So I own that traffic. Anytime I want to send it somewhere, I type an email, and then I send that traffic there. I send it to this page or this page. And I'm sure most of you guys are on my list. You probably see the emails. I send it to wherever I want to sell that day. But you want to own the traffic. That makes sense? When you own it, it becomes so much easier. The game is just so easy. Then you just sit back and do the fun stuff. Create products, goof off, send an email out, sell some stuff, do it over and over again.
Do you launch every product to your same email list?
Within a specific niche. So like in my fitness list, I don't promote how to make money products and vice versa. Yeah, the problem is if you do too much cross stuff that doesn't make sense, they unsubscribe and you can't email them anymore. So we try to keep it very specific to what they're interested in. Now, another interesting thing, they found that the average person has to see a sales page 7 to 10 times before they trust the person enough to buy. Okay, so the big problem a lot of people do is send people directly to the sales page and hope they buy. But the average person has to see it 7 to 10 times. So what's nice about this, they come in here, they give their name, email address, I put them on a follow-up series. So day number 1, send them this email. Day number 2, send them this email. Day number 3, send them this. Day number 5, 6, 7. And then every single day they get a new email. And what happens? I'm closing the sale. I'm closing the sale. What happens traditionally, people send someone to a website. They come right here, and so they get a 1% conversion rate, which is a good conversion rate off of just sending traffic to a page. So for 100 people, 1 person gives me money. Okay, now if I take that exact same traffic and I put it through a process like this, I'm going to get right here, I'll get 30 of those 100 people give me the name, email, so I have 30 people, but those 30 people, I'll follow up them over and over and over again, and what I'll find out from that same 100 people, I get that conversion rate from 1 to 2 to 3% sometimes, and sometimes even higher than that. So for 100 visitors, I get 3%. If I know that every 100 people I send, I'm going to make 3 sales, that gives you a lot of power when you're doing your marketing and other stuff we're going to talk about later on today. Okay? Any questions about that at all? Yeah?
So in a 30-day, or maybe not period, but you're trying to pitch a new product, how many times do you contact that customer on that same product?
Everyone's got different philosophies on this. First, let me say, most people will under-contact their customers. When I first got in this business, I was scared to send more than 1 email a month. I do once a month, I'm like, okay, don't be mad at me. Send, and then orders come in, a couple of complaints and stuff. A couple people unsubscribe. I'm like, oh, they unsubscribed. This is a horrible thing. And then I heard this talk, and this guy was like, he sends 2 emails a day. And I'm like, you send 2 emails a day? Are you crazy? He's like, try it. Increase your frequency. So I went from once a month to twice a month. Every other week I'd send an email out, and I'd be like, all nervous. Ugh. And what happened was interesting. I started sending 2 emails a month, and what happened is my income more than doubled. I was like, that's weird. I would have thought people would be unsubscribing and leaving. So I was like, huh. So then I switched it to once every single week. I sent 1 email every week. What happened is now my income, it didn't just increase by that much, but that much plus more. What I found is the more often you contact someone, the more they know who you are, the more they're listening to you, the more they want to hear from you, and the more you're training them to actually do what you want them to do. Train them to buy, train them to do this and that. If you're on my list now, I send at least 1 email a day. If I don't send an email a day, I'm losing money because people are trained to want to buy stuff. And I make an offer every single day. There's something, and if some guys on my email list, you might get annoyed, oh, Russell, you freaking sell me something every single day. Well, this is the reality. Okay, when I started giving free content and giving stuff like that, people stopped buying. Okay, and that's flat out. The reason why I sell every single day is because if I don't, my sales start just dying. So I would say contact, as often as you can, at least daily, and pick, if it's 10 days, 15 days, if you only have 1 product, talk about it every single day. Matt Fury's got 10 products, and every single day he talks about one of the products. Tells a little story, and by the way, go buy this thing again. Here's another story, go buy it again. But what happens is you find that when you have an email list, that list is trained really, really quickly on what to expect. If you're on your list and every day you're sending free stuff and free stuff and free stuff, your mind would say, hey, this is really good. I'm building a good relationship with that person. They really like the content I'm sending them. They're going to love me. They're going to buy when I want to buy. And they go and you try to sell something, and that person's like, dude, what are you doing? You freaking give me stuff. Now you want to It's like when you guys ever have that girl that was like that? I don't know if I, never mind. I'm going to leave it there. Never mind. So, you know what I'm talking about, though. Like, you need to be upfront from day one what your intentions are. If you're going on a date with a girl and you're like acting like the friend, you go to kiss her, smack, because what the crap you doing? I thought we were friends. Like, are you serious? You thought I've been hanging out with you for 3 weeks because we're friends? Like, they don't get it. And the same way with your list, you have to train your list from day number one. Like, you need them to know that this is a relationship. This is my position. I'm going to be selling you things. I'm going to be teaching you things. I'm also going to be selling you. If you establish that up front, you're going to see it 1,000 times better. We'll do promotions with people who have these huge email lists of 500,000 people, 1 million people. And we're like, great, this is going to be like a huge payday tonight. We're excited. They send the email out to the list, and the list has never been sold before. And we'll get tons and tons of clicks, and then people are just like, no one buys. It's all about how you train the person from day number one when they join your list. So I would say communicate as often as you can, and don't be afraid to sell stuff to people. Okay. Yeah.
The sales page, do you create a new sales? Is it always the one website, just a new sales page every time?
Good question. It depends. So for example, like I only have one blog in my main niche, .com secrets, so it's the same blog. But then I have a course called Micro Continuity. So I'll make a squeeze page and sales page for Micro Continuity. Then I have 12 million, I make a new squeeze and sales, things like that. So I have a different one for each of my individual products, but I just have one blog pretty much. That's a good question. Okay. Traffic.
So if you've got a product that can go like your chicken soup for the soul, and go for dentists or for all these different niches, would you have a different squeeze page for each of those?
Yep.
If it was real good.
Definitely.
All leave the same sales page, or would you change your sales?
Change the sales page too. Yeah, for sure.
And then you change your website then too, right? You change that to be...
It depends. So with Scott's site that we're doing, he does hypnosis, right? And we've got a whole bunch of products. We have like hypnosis for weight loss, hypnosis to stop smoking, hypnosis for a whole bunch of different niches. So we have one centralized like hypnosis website. When you come there, it's going to say, give your name and email address, and what are you looking for? What are you trying? I'm trying to overcome smoking. Boom, we put them on a smoking list, and they're getting a message about smoking. I'm trying to lose weight. Boom, they get lose weight email. So we have one centralized thing for that because they're related, even though they're different niches, they're related by one common thing. Now, if they were in a completely different niche, I would have completely different, separate everything. You know what I mean?
What's that website?
We're just finishing. Simple Changes Hypnosis, right? Simple Changes, yeah. It's not all finished yet. That's what we're doing right now.
So, underground conspiracy theories for housewives?
Exactly. You got it. Okay, what I want to talk about right now for a minute, I want to talk about selling online, because a lot of people are scared to death to sell. Anyone here ever heard of Zig Ziglar? He said that shy salespeople have skinny kids, which is very, very true. So I want to talk about right now for a little bit. I want to break off and talk about sales, because this is the process through the emails you're sending, through the message here. It's all about selling, and you have to become good at selling. That's one of the most important tools and skills you need to learn on the internet is selling stuff. And so you got to be comfortable and willing to sell. And the nice thing about online is it's a lot less pressure. It's not like you're on the phone or door-to-door selling people, but there's still a process that you go through. So what I want to talk about now is a couple things. If I can find my notes. Okay, the first process, when you start selling somebody something, there's a sales process you take them through. So you go to their site, there's a sales process they take them through. You go to my site, there's a sales process. And the process usually comes down to 3 things. I think I learned this from Gary Halbert. 3 S's. You need a star, a story, and a solution. Okay? So a star, a story, and a solution. So when you go out there and you're selling someone, this is normally the sales process. Okay? And we're going to talk a little about sales letters and sales videos, but one of my close friends' name is John Carlton. He's one of the most famous copywriters in the world. And he told me one time he wrote a sales letter for someone who was going for a product for people who are bald. He said if you were completely bald and you were completely fine with that and you're happy with that, by the time you went through the sales process, you were very self-conscious about the fact you were bald and you're ready to buy. And he did that by taking someone through this process, a star, a story, and a solution. Okay? So you get into this message, the sales letter, the sales video, and you start talking about the star of the story. And in this case, there was someone that was bald, and they started going through and they started telling the story. And this person was bald and went out there, and they started doing this and that. They realized that bald people, they make a lot less money per year than people with hair. And the girls they date are a lot less cute, and there's this and all these different things. And starts walking through this process, this story, we're just like, crap, if I'm bald, like, oh man, the story is taking this process. We start feeling the pain of whatever it is that you have. And the goal of the sales process is to make people feel a little bit of pain. Because if they feel pain, they feel uncomfortable, guess what the next logical thing is? It's change. If you make someone feel some pain, they're going to stay in pain or they're going to try to change. And the average people most people don't like pain, okay? So you give someone a little bit of pain, they're going to want to change. And so what happens is you have a star, they tell a story that causes some pain, and then your product becomes the solution in the process, okay? And so I'm going to talk about each of the pieces individually. First thing I'm going to talk about is the star of the story. Now, the star of the story could be you, it could be one of your customers, it could be a lot of different people. What I want to talk to you guys about is a concept that we call the attractive character. Now, every business needs an attractive character. What an attractive character is not so much someone that's a really good-looking person, but someone that's got attractive stories that people are going to relate to. Okay. Now, I didn't really realize what was happening when I first started my business, but when I first started this business, I went out there and I started teaching. Teaching what I was doing, and what was interesting is that a certain type of person was attracted to me, and it was typically athletes. Because I was talking about my wrestling stories and things like that. I was sharing parts of my life with people, and the people that, like the athletes in the room, would be like, oh, I get that. And I'd get done, and I'd speak, and I'd sell something, and people around to me, and like all the athletes, right? Hey, I played football over here. I did this, and they related to me, and they really would buy my stuff because they related to me. It was really interesting. But if you go to my seminars, you notice there were never any women in the audience ever. It was a whole bunch of like football players and basketball players and wrestlers. I thought that was interesting. Then a little while later, my wife and I got pregnant with the twins. She had the twin boys. And I started sharing that. I started saying, hey, and by the way, I have twins. I started telling my story about the twins during my sales process, during the marketing and things I was doing. What happened was really interesting. I found out really quickly that every single time I would mention twins, all the women's eyes would light up. They just like all of a sudden like, oh, and then all of a sudden there was like a connection to have with the women and with the parents and things like that. And what's interesting is, and I learned this again when we had twins. The first week we're at the grocery store with our twins. We're walking down. We got them in the car seats and we're walking, the double strollers. We're walking down like at Kmart or Walmart or wherever it was at, and like every single person comes out. Hey, how's it going? Guess what? I'm a twin. I'm like, oh, crap. Hi, how you doing? Great to meet you. And they tell you their twin story. You walk down a few minutes later, next agent's out. Oh, my gosh, my brother's a twin. And they tell you their twin story. You go, yeah, you have twins. You know the same process. Every single person either is a twin, they know a twin, or they have a story about a twin, and they want to make sure you know that story. Otherwise, there's no purpose of them living. And it's seriously, they come out everywhere. Like, everywhere you go, and you're just like, oh. So I started telling this twin story, and guess what happened? All these people have these twin stories, and they're like, oh, my gosh, I have this twin story. And they start relating to me, and they bond to me, and they are attracted to me because they have something in common with me that fast. Okay, and all of a sudden, like you start going to our seminars, and all of a sudden there were women, there were older people, there were younger people, and my whole diversity changed a lot. When we launched micro-continuity last year, was interesting. Joy, we made Joy was the attractive character of the micro-continuity launch. And what happened, the next seminar after that, it was like 50% of the room were women. Prior to that, it was like, you get 10%, kind of like right now, we got maybe 10, 15%. After micro-continuity, 50% of the room was all women. It was amazing because that was the attractive character we put out there for that product launch. Okay, and now, when you talk about the attractive character, it's not something that just happens either. It's something you can actually craft and you can spend some time on. And you look at like good businesses, you look at good industries, they have a good attractive character. A good example is Subway. It's a great example. Okay, Subway was a fast food chain for a long, long time. They're really struggling. And somewhere along the line they said, hey, we're going to reinvent ourselves as a health plan. And guess what? They found this dude who was like 500 pounds. You guys seen the pictures of him. And he was like, grr, and then all of a sudden he would eat nothing but Subway for like 5 years in a row. And guess what? He became skinny, and now he's Jared of Subway. He became this icon. He became the attractive character, and big, huge people from around the world looked at Jared and said, I need to eat nothing but Subway 3 meals a day. And guess what it did for their business? It went from a fast food joint to a diet plan, and it just exploded their business because there was an attractive character that people related to, and they brought him into the business. Okay, another fast food restaurant, Wendy's. Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's. This guy was like the least charismatic man on earth. They said they put him in front of the TV camera, and he'd be like shaking, be so nervous. He's like, hi, I'm Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's. And they would like this long process to get this guy on tape, and it was just, the production studios hated it, and there was just this horrible thing. And so they just get pissed off, and like, hey, screw it, we're taking him out. And they just did a video with like people and everything else, and their sales would go, boom. Like, so they put Dave Thomas back in, all of a sudden their sales would crank back up again. And they take him back out, and then put him back in, and they're just like, how in the world do people buy when this guy is like stumbling upon himself, but they're coming to the restaurant because of him? And what they found is just Dave Thomas is an attractive character. People bonded with him. They felt like he was his grandpa. And like, hey, you're driving down the street basically, and you see McDonald's over here, and you see Wendy's over here, and you're like, hey, I got two choices: the creepy clown or my grandpa. Who should I eat with? You're gonna go see your grandpa. Okay, but Dave Thomas was the attractive character in that story. Okay, you look at again our business. I've become the attractive character in different products. We bring attractive characters. We had just the darkside.com secrets launch. Taggart back there was the attractive character. If you guys see the pre-launch videos of that. We're sneaking around the office, his face is all blacked out, and he was the attractive character for that. And people bonded to him because they wanted to learn the stuff from him. Okay, so every product, every promotion, we try to find who is the story, the star of the story, who's the attractive character going to be. Now, with a couple things about the attractive character you want to know, it doesn't always have to be like this happy, shining person, okay? controversy is a great thing. Okay, the whole dark side thing, we had people that loved us, people that hated us because of the whole thing. We had some lady, and I hope she's not in this room, she emailed us and told me that she was pissed at me because I was personally ruining the internet. That was the quote. Russell, you're personally ruining the internet. And other people were like, holy crap, this is the greatest thing in the world. I'm using this stuff and making a ton of money with it. Controversy is a great thing. It causes divides. When you're neutral, nobody listens to you. Okay, neutrality is like the most boring, horrible thing in the world. People are like, oh, I don't want to offend anybody. When you don't offend anybody, guess what happens? Nobody listens to you. Okay, being offensive, being not so much offensive, but being controversial, talking about what you believe is an important thing. Having stances on things, believing in something, doing things like that is what attracts people, will attract you to people. A good example is Howard Stern. Okay, I don't know if you guys listen to that guy. It's foul, horrible stuff. But like 4 years ago, Sirius Radio signed a $30 million contract with him. And guess why? Because people were listening to him. They wanted to hear what he was going to say. They actually did polls of Howard Stern listeners, people who liked Howard Stern, people who hated Howard Stern. It was interesting, the results. I don't remember the exact results, but basically they found that people who hated Howard Stern, or people who liked Howard Stern listened to an hour at a time on average, and the average person who hated Howard Stern listened for 2 hours at a time. And they surveyed both groups of people and said, why in the world do you listen for so long? And both of them said the exact same thing. We want to find out what he's going to say next. Okay? You look at people like Oprah. Why is Oprah so successful? Why does my wife every single day TiVo Oprah and watches every single episode, whether we're here, we're in Fiji, and Hawaii, whatever. I get home and there's like 80 Oprahs on tape, and she watches every single one of them. Why is that? Okay? Oprah is an attractive character. People are bonded to her. They listen to her. They follow her. I mean, you look at, she'll mention a product of hers on her show, and companies will go under because they can't handle the amount of traffic and customers that come. They'll lose their entire business because they can't handle the traffic she sends. People listen to her because they're attracted to her. Okay, you realize that, you start looking at all these people, look at businesses who have attractive characters and how people are attracted to that, and they buy based on that. When you learn that, you need to kind of take that and deconstruct it and build it back the other way. So we started doing our company, for anyone in my company who writes or creates products or doesn't have that, we created a whole sheet of like your attractive character profile. And they had everyone on our team consciously write out, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I'm against, what I'm for, things like that, because again, it should be a conscious decision you're making. And so I actually had Kevin as our copywriter. Did you bring it down? Awesome. Kevin, I asked him to bring down his attract, because again, he writes for our company, does a lot of stuff. I said, everyone in our company writes out, if they're going to be publishing with us, they're writing out what their attractive character is. So he wrote out his attractive character. I wanted him to kind of read it to you guys so you can see what things you're looking for in your attractive character. And take notes on not so much what his attractive character is, but think about, hey, this is something that I do. This is something that I do that I can have back in my attractive character. Okay, these are all elements you need that are going to help the sales process so well. Do we have the microphone? Cheeky check. Microphone check. All right.
Can you hear me? Cool. Good evening. Good afternoon. So I just wanted to read over my attractive character profile. This is something I created about 2 or 3 years ago, or months ago, since I do a lot of writing for Russell, and most of you hopefully get the .com Secrets newsletter, and I write an article in there every month, and also do blog posts as well. So what I wanted to do was to create my attractive character. Like Russell said, come up with strong opinions about things I hate, things I like, and so I would like to read these to you right now. Hopefully you won't hate me after this, but for the whole idea is that for the people who do, who agree with these things, you'll bond with me, and then you'll listen to whatever I have to say, and I'll tell you what to do. No, I'm just kidding. So the first thing is that I'm a huge football and Washington Redskins fans. Anybody like the Redskins in here? There we go.
That guy likes it.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Buy his crap. It's good stuff.
So we're going to talk all about football in my section tomorrow. So, yeah, that's all right. Like I said, you can't be neutral on these things, like Russell said. So another thing about me, that this is stuff that I feel comfortable revealing to, obviously I don't want to reveal my entire life to the masses, but this is things that I specifically chose that I felt comfortable revealing. And obviously, I went to Penn State. I have a master's degree, so anybody we had a couple of people who went to Penn State. So that's one of the things about me. I do a lot of running. I run half marathons, and I ran a marathon last year. Hopefully, I'll run another one this year. So, any runners in here? Now, this is interesting. So, I really like older hard rock bands before 1998. They had like more personality, like all the old haired bands. of course, you just look at me, you think, oh, he's totally a
Hardcore
headbanger.
rocker.
Exactly. But I used to listen to all that stuff, and I don't know if for some reason after the new millennium hit, it just didn't really appeal to me anymore. But that's just an opinion I have. And one thing I want to talk about is I don't like when I write my blog posts and I write articles for Russell. I don't just talk about like the Redskins and all that. It's just little things that I will add in. Like I'll somehow like tie that like the Redskins into headlines or that's kind of a weird example, but in other words, a lot of things that people asked me was last time I talked about this was, well, do you? That's all you talk about. Well, if you're not going to talk about marketing, then people are going to tone you out. Well, the point is that this is just little things that you kind of mix in here and there. You don't just talk about hair bands all the time. So, so the other thing is I like. My favorite for 24. My favorite show is 24. Unfortunately, it's Russell's a big 24 fan too.
Sad day.
And does anybody here watch Breaking Bad? There we go. Oh, Michael. All right. Well, there's only one. There's always that one person who watches that show. Everybody's like, "What the heck?" So it's another my other favorite shows. I usually don't worry. I watch a lot of TV. Just 2 shows I watch. Well, 1 show now that 24 is gone. And so one really big one that I reveal, I wrote a blog post about this about a couple of days ago or weeks ago, was I used to watch a lot of professional wrestling when I was a kid, like Hulk Hogan and all these guys. Anybody watch professional wrestling in here? Okay, a couple of hands.
We're not friends anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't watch it anymore now, but of course I'm a golfer, so that's one thing I also reveal myself is I play golf. Now we're going to get into flaws. So one of the things that, this is based on some audios that Russell has listened to by John Ollis and Dan Kennedy, and he said that all attractive characters have flaws, like Superman had kryptonite. So I came up with 3 flaws. These are the only flaws that I have. No, just kidding. So the first one is that I'm hopelessly addicted to caffeine. Now this is interesting because this is I'm trying to quit. We're doing a contest in our office, kind of a weight loss contest. So one of the things I wanted to do was quit caffeine. So this is like the third.
Quit caffeine at least 40 times.
Yeah, I'm going to do it this time. I promise. I will do it. It's been 3 days since I've had a cup of coffee.
He's using push instead of pull. That's the problem.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Caffeine's first, and then I'll quit the harder drugs later. So, so that's one of my things I feel comfortable, that I'll say, like, I'm addicted to caffeine, because a lot of people go to Starbucks, and, that's America for you, I guess. Another thing is I keep eating really bad food. I don't know, I just like eating junk food. I'm trying to improve that as well. I have to run so I don't gain too much weight. And another thing is I'm really bad at playing golf. Most people who play golf can relate to that. Now we're going to go into like the kind of the pet peeves that I have. Now Russell, said that you have to have strong opinions about things. Well, these are some more opinions. So rock and roll died after the mid-'90s, after the grunge movement ended. Nobody sells out stadiums anymore, except for like the older bands like U2 and Metallica, the ones that really really big. I mean, you don't see any of the later acts, sell out stadiums. That's another thing I like to put in. And so, okay, one of the things is like I said, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I was really big into 80s TV, like like the Dukes of Hazzard, A-Team, The Greatest American Hero. Anybody remember these? So there we go. Rome remembers. He's for those, but of course I grew up during the 80s, so it makes sense. So there are a couple others as well. I don't want to take too much of Russell's time, but so basically that was the whole idea, is that I wanted to, instead of just me being Kevin the copywriter writing articles for Russell all the time, I wanted to kind of reveal things about myself that I felt comfortable revealing, so that people that would read my articles would bond with me more, and that's pretty much it. And I'll print this out if you're interested. I'll print this out and I'll distribute it Thursday or tomorrow or Saturday.
If you know anyone else who likes long strolls on the beach, Kevin's looking.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anybody out there on the camera? No, I'm just kidding. So, thanks.
Awesome, thanks, Kevin. Give me a round of applause. What's interesting, when I first learned about the whole attractive character concept, the person I learned it from, his name is John Allness, and if you go to johnallness.com, you see his site is all about teaching men how to pick up women. That's this whole thing, how to get women to approach you. That's this whole business. And what was interesting, he had him come speak at one of our seminars because I knew he had this big thing he does about attractive character, and he said that his business is teaching men how to get women to approach them. He said, but he's like, but the laws of attraction are the same whether you're in business or whether you're in a personal relationship. He's like, if you take the laws of attraction and learn how to use those in your business, you can get customers and clients to be attracted to you, just like you would get a woman to be attracted to you. And the same thing he teaches the guys how to pick up chicks. The same thing you teach how to pick up customers. It's building an attractive character. Who are you? What are your stories? What are you for? What are you against? And having stances on things because. I mean, you can ask the women in the audience. You guys probably don't like men that are like, well, wishy-washy, and that kind of stuff. Like, you want a man that's going to be out there, have stances, have opinions, and same kind of thing for customers. They don't want, someone's not going to want to come and buy from you if you're like, well, I don't know. They want people who are like, look, this is the way it is. This is the way it is, isn't it? The way it is, isn't. Anyway, like I was talking, Dave today, we were driving in today. He was talking about Rush Limbaugh and all these people. Like, I don't care about political crap at all, but they were talking about this guy and this guy and how this guy. Those guys are perfect examples of attractive characters. People sit and they tune in the radio show over and over and over, listen for hours and hours to hear this guy's opinion, this guy's opinion. Okay, in your market, you want to be the guy who's got the opinion that people are listening to. And you can be wrong; it doesn't matter. You just need to have an opinion. Jay Abraham said that people are silently begging to be led, and whoever's going to stand up and lead those people are going to make a lot of money. Okay, everyone is looking for someone to follow, and if you're going to be that person to stand up and become the leader, you're going to be the one making the money. You go back to that book, Tribes, like we talked about earlier, about the subcultures, and that you read the book Tribes, it's talking about people who become tribal leaders. You need to be that person who comes up and becomes a tribal leader, who gets people following you, because that's where the money's at. Okay? So anyway, so star, story, solution. Again, so the star, that's the first part. Who's the star of the story? Is it you? Is it your customer? Is it Jared at Subway? Is you the guru? Who's the star of the story? Because people are going to need to relate and bond to a star. If you don't have a star, it's tough to make a sale. Second thing is the story. And again, the goal of the story is to agitate a problem. So if I'm selling, again, how to cream for someone who's bald, the problem I'm agitating is bald people. So how to agitate that problem, agitate it so much they're so frustrated. It's like, God, leave me alone. Then like, oh, here's a solution. Oh, thank heavens. Okay, the goal of the story is to agitate pain, bring that pain up, because the pain is what gets people to make change. Okay, if you look at our sales videos, the pain I'm giving you is like, how, like, right now, you're broke, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do this, I'm causing as much pain as possible. And then I help people imagine what life would be like if you had this, imagine what it would be like if you had this, imagine, so I'm causing pain, and then they have them imagine what life could be like. And someone has pain, and they have imagining what something could be. That's the easiest peak time to sell somebody. That's when you provide your solution. And it's so easy, if you've done the sales process right, the solution is easy. The solution is, hey, I got this product that solves all these problems I've just been agitating you out for the last hour. Oh, thank heavens, I'm so excited. One of the best examples is my dad's going to be speaking to you guys tonight about business structuring. And he used to sell services. We don't sell services at these seminars anymore. But the first time we did it, he got up there, he talked for like 2 hours about like all the ways that you can like end up in prison or lose all your money because of the way you do your business. Like, it's a great talk, but it's like a painful thing. You're just like, oh my gosh. And anyway, the first time we did it, he got there, he spoke about this whole thing for like 2 hours, and they got done, and I got up there, and I had the chance to actually close the sale, which was a lot of fun. And I looked out in the audience, and everyone's look was like this. It was just like, I don't even want to try. This sounds like a lot of work, and I don't want to go to prison. Like, everyone looked so like he'd agitated the problem so well. I came in and it was just like, hey, this is the deal. My dad does it for me. Do you want me to do it for you? Sweet. It's like $500 a month, $600 a month. Cheapest accounting services you'll find in the entire world. Go to your business structuring, and people were flocking to the back. Thank heavens, take these problems off my head. Okay. So that's the goal of this sales process. If you guys watch any of our sales videos, any of our things that we're doing, you'll see that process over and over and over again. There's a star, there's a story that agitates a problem, and the solution is the product we're offering. Okay, pretty easy. Now, let's see. The only thing I want to talk about is in this process right now. So here's where you're selling your thing. Now, right now there's two core ways that we use to sell our product. The first way is a sales letter. And when you're in Kevin's group tomorrow, he's going to talk to you guys a lot about sales letters. Which, have you guys seen sales letters before, hopefully? A long page is usually a headline, some copy, a headline, copy, headline, copy, headline, copy. And the whole headline copy thing is taking you through this process. Headline is, hey, discover the #1 secret about how this guy did some cool thing. Let me tell you a story about how this guy did this cool thing. And the story's agitating. It's a big, long letter that's just going through this process. Introducing a star, telling a story, you're providing the solution. If you look at any of our sales letters, that's the process we're going through. And there's a system, and Kevin, like I said, Kevin will teach you the system you go through this entire sales letter. We were in sales letters for a long time. They work really, really good. We've been transitioning lately to sales videos. Some of you guys may have seen them, and they work so much better. What we do is make these, if you guys seen these videos we do, they're really annoying. There's no way to stop them or fast forward or rewind. You sit there and you have to watch the video, and it's like pisses you off. So the first time one of my friends did one like that, and it was so annoying to me. And he's like telling me, this thing's making so much money, blah, blah, blah. He was all excited. And I was just like, I was just kind of I went to the side, I was like, this is annoying. I can pause and I can play, but I can't fast forward or rewind. He said, he's like, just trust me. He's like, send out an email to your list. I want to show that this actually works. So I took a portion of my list and sent out an email just to see if it actually worked. I didn't believe him it would. And from just a portion of the list, we made like $15,000 in commissions, which means we made $30,000 in sales. I was like, holy crap, I cannot believe that actually worked. And so then I went back and we tested on one of our products, and it just did awesome. So what we do is we make these sales videos that it's not anything fancy at all. It's a PowerPoint slide, and there's a headline, and I read the headline, and then there's the next line, I read that. And basically I'm taking this entire sales letter, and I just put the text up there, and I read the line, and then I read the next one, and it's the most basic, simple, easy thing in the world. It takes me maybe an hour to create the whole thing. It takes a long to write the copy, but it doesn't take that long to do it. And again, it's not technical at all, and then you put them up there, and basically what happens is you sit there and you read your sales letter to somebody, slide by slide. They see like one line at a time, and at the end of it, you tell them to sell the product, and it works so good because the problem with a traditional sales letter, what do you do when you see a sales letter? You read the headline, you scroll down, see how much it costs, and then you decide if you want to read the sales letter. With this, they come in here, and they have to sit there and watch the video. If you do a good headline at the first of the video, they're like, oh, crap, and they're in there. They have no idea how long the video is or anything. They sit and they watch, and they watch, and they watch, and they're checking their clock, and they're all upset. But you have the chance to actually tell the story, to bring up the star, to agitate the pain, and they're sitting there, and at the end of it, the sales process is so easy because you're forcing them to read the whole sales letter. You're reading it to them. So they're getting it auditory, you're getting it through hearing and also through reading. Yeah.
So do you actually have it on a sales page, the video first, and then you still write it out?
I don't even have a sales page anymore. We just the video, and when the video hits a certain point, then the order form pops up. It works awesome. Better than anything we've ever done before. We just launched one today. They were just telling me the stats a second ago. We launched InstantSocialAnarchy.com, which if you see that, it's just a squeeze page and a sales video. They opt in a squeeze page and sales video, and they said we done $17,000. We emailed.
We're at like 17 or 18 right now.
$78,000 sales. We sent the email out like, 3-4 hours ago? 213 she got it, yeah. So since 213 we made $17,000 from one sales video. It's like a 18-minute sales video, just going through that process. And guess what? I didn't even send the email out. Brent sent it for me because I was too busy like preparing for right now. So yeah, it's nice having your own list and having a good sales process. But that's the process: star, story, and solution. Again, Kevin's going to be going into really big detail to you guys tomorrow about how to structure it, all this stuff. He's got headline, swipe files, a whole bunch of really good stuff here in the manual. He'll be going with you guys in the group tomorrow, but I just wanted to give you an idea of how that all fits into this process. Yeah?
Oh, it might come tomorrow. Who's the person that you have in the video? Do you know if you're very photogenic or?
Mine are just PowerPoint slides with. I don't have a picture in my entire PowerPoint slides. It's just text lines that I'm just reading. There's no. Yeah.
And people watch the whole thing.
The whole bloody thing, and then they buy and they love it. Yeah. You want to know what the price is. You want to know everything is. And you're just like, yeah. I hate it, but it's the greatest thing in the world. Like, I've never seen a sales process yet that works as good as that. And it's so much easier to make. Try a sales letter. Typical sales letter takes us, 2 weeks to do the whole thing? It's a nightmare. Here, I get out a text pad, and I bust out the copy. I have like 5 or 6 sales letters done in the past, and I had text pad, I copy on lines. It takes me about an hour to knock out the whole sales video. I put a microphone, I read the text pad and read the audios. I email my brother, I outsource it. I send him the audio files and the text pad, and he makes a PowerPoint slide and just maxes it all together, and it's not fancy at all by any stretch of the imaginations. Steven?
Do you find if it's a higher price point, you need to make a longer video?
Yep. This is the rule of thumb. I've learned this. Well, anyway, you need to make your sales video, sales letter, whatever it is. They say make it similar to a girl's skirt. It needs to be long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to be interesting. That's what you're looking for. Yeah.
You do the audio, you mix the audio with the PowerPoint?
Yep, I'm recording all the audio first and have some in PowerPoint, and he's mixing them together afterwards.
Is there a reason why you do it instead of going through Camtasia, going through a reading?
Faster for me, because then I don't have to create the whole PowerPoints and all that kind of stuff.
Is
very end of the video, or like 3/4?
We put a timeline so it, as soon as I announce the prices, then we let the order form pop up. And there's scripts out. You can outsource that for like $5. There's just a little timer, and say it when it hits 18 minutes and 32 seconds. All they do is in the page. This is for the techie guys. There's a div that's a hidden div that hides the order form, and at minute 13 it unhides the div, and also the order form just appears. So for the techie guys, that's what it is. It's really simple. Like I said, it's a $5 outsource project. Okay, so that's the sales process. Selling is, when you get good at this, the whole thing becomes so much easier. And so what I want you to start doing is, like, tonight, think about your attractive character. Think about what you're selling, what you're talking about. All those type of things are important because if you notice, like, one of the big things that you want to start doing is start collecting like an archive of your parables. Okay, you look at the greatest teachers in the world. You look at Christ. How did he teach people? He taught through parables. I don't care who you think he is, but he taught through parables. He's the greatest teacher in the world. Okay, you look at me. How many stories have I told you guys today? I could have sat up here for 4 hours and be like, okay, number one, your HTML tag needs to be H1. But you guys have been like, and wanted to kill me by about 1:30. Okay, I teach through parables. I have a concept. I tell a story about it, and then it ingrains it. You hear the concept, you hear the parable, and it ingrains it into your mind. So you want to start thinking for your sales process, what are the stories, the parables you have in your life that can tie into your sales process? It's all about telling parables. How many stories do you have that you have something happen in your life, like, crap, I can relate this back to my thing. And you send an email the next day, this is the funniest thing, I was at the movie, this guy came up and he had a big hair bow on and blah, 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 and now you got a parable you can tell some big story with. Okay, but I mean, you look at half the stuff I'm teaching, these are all parables. I have my potato gun parable. I have all these different things, and it's key when you're doing the sales process, start figuring out your parables. What are stories you can tell? Because stories sell. That's what it all comes down to. That the stories you're telling, that's what people are listening to. They're not listening to sales pitches, they're listening to stories. And if your story's good, they're going to listen, and it makes the sales process so easy. Because again, your story's agitating that problem, and you just become the guy saying, "Oh, by the way, here's the solution." It's really easy. Now, the other thing, when we're building the sales video or the sales letter, this comes back to what we talked about earlier with the Ask campaign. Okay, a lot of this whole sales video is just the answer to those questions. How do I overcome pornography addiction? I've discovered the number one secret of how to overcome pornography addiction. I'm taking their questions and turning that into the copy for the sales video, for the sales letter. Okay.